Oh, well, I hit it before. Oh, wow. Okay. Hello, everybody. Well, I thought I was live, but now I really am. Hello, everybody. I'm sitting here talking to myself. Yeah. All right, so I started Zoom. Um, okay, you're in. Now I gotta see. Do I have to make you administrator or something? Hello, everybody. I see Samba. I see Alessandra. I see Donna. I see Girl of November,
That's Jen.
Jen, and we have. Okay, that's Ivan. Ivan. um, Lena M. Hello. Sorry, I hit go live in my YouTube studio before, and I thought I was live, but now I'm live. I'm set. I'm just bear with me. I'm setting up. I'm setting up Zoom. We're gonna try something a little different tonight. There we go. Darn it. Okay. Okay, there we go. Well, all right. Did anybody get to El Capitan today? Hello, TTQT. Cutie Pie. TT Cutie Pie. Welcome. And Genevieve. Hello. Happy Saturday or Sunday, wherever you are in the world. Okay, Jfro, what do you need from me?
Okay. Well, as people are coming in the room, perhaps I'll just talk a little bit about what we'd like to try for a format tonight that we hope will make things easier to refer back to and just easier to digest in general. And because we're still working with that free Zoom subscription for the time being, we're still limited to 40-minute Zoom meetings. So what I was talking with Haji about in the time since we last met was that perhaps we could pick three people at a time from the YouTube chat who are ready to share and give them each 10 minutes of that Zoom meeting. So 3 times 10 is 30. That gives us 5 minutes on each end to maybe introduce people or answer some questions. And if you don't have 10 minutes of storytelling, you can ask and answer questions with that part of your time that's left over. Those 10 minutes can be, depending on who you are, a lot of time to
Ah,
fill, so you
so
don't
we
have to.
so we can be like Congress. We can say, "I yield my 5 minutes to the lady from
Yeah,
Minnesota."
and so there's a little bit of natural back and forth, but still kind of keeping on so that we can use our time to the best effect. So at the end of the first 40 minutes, I'll be a timekeeper. So whoever's setting up to speak was like, okay, there's your 10 minutes, ready, go. And then I'll say, okay, you got a couple minutes to wrap it up if it sounds like you might need that information. And then so we'll move through three people's stories in the first Zoom meeting, and then we'll open another Zoom window. And we'll have three more people from the chat who are interested in sharing tonight, and so on through three different Zoom windows. So we're looking for about 9 people to take that time to share whatever story they want to share with the group. It can be NDE, past life, anything you want. You can even ask questions since you've got the mic. But it's about sharing your experiences primarily. And then after we get through all 3 40-minute Zoom windows.
As long as they're not X-rated experiences, I'm okay with that.
Yeah, no F-bombs if you can help it, and nothing to get us age restricted is a thing that we have to watch out for now. So, or soon. And then we thought we'd have open entry Zoom, at least 1, maybe 2 if we're still on fire, which you know we will be, at the end. So anybody who wants to come into the room and chat or ask questions or address something that one of the speakers has said in the live format will be welcome. Before that, you'll just get the waiting room. So there's a Zoom link in the Facebook group as per usual. But just know that if you hop in there and you're not really one of the 3 at the time, you'll probably just get stuck in that waiting room. We want to encourage people to use the chat in YouTube while they're waiting. And we will be trying to go back and revisit some of the things that come up in that chat so that we can pull questions and address them in the future if we don't get to everything tonight. Okay, what do you think? You guys
awesome.
You guys down?
First of all, can you hear us okay? Can you hear Jafer and me? Am I loud enough?
I can hear you.
That's good. At least we can both hear each other. That's great.
Okay, Samba, I hear you. You're not needing to speak tonight. All right, thank you.
Donna's getting popcorn.
Donna's in and out. Donna, did you want to speak tonight?
Oh, we have Linda with a Y, all the way from down under. Tropical thunder from down under. All right, wondering, who are you? How do I know you? All right, so you posted the Zoom link in our group.
I did.
Awesome.
And we're looking right now. What we'll probably do, because this intro has eaten up some time, we might want to start a new Zoom room once we have the first 3 speakers.
Oh no, we're good on time. I just want to make sure everybody could hear us first. It's always important because we don't want any failures to communicate. And I wanted to say a few words before we started anyway. So wondering.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying is if we're going to do this in a 40-minute chunk, we're going to need to open a new Zoom room after your comments.
Okay. Yes, but can you open it, the Zoom room?
I think it's the same link.
It should be already started because you got in and I accepted you.
Yes, but the clock is ticking on our 40 minutes.
Oh, I see. You are right. So this first time, we might.
Don't bother joining this one because we're going to start it again so that we have the fresh 40 minutes so that no one gets cut off.
Right. Yeah. All right. So what I wanted to say right off the bat was, hello, beautiful family. It's been a week. I've had a lot of fun interacting with you all over the world this week, and man, I used up a lot of energy this week. Trying to help people, trying to help work on problems. Wow, look at our graph. That graph is weird. But you know what? I think at the end of the week we have a very happy ending. A lot of people, we had a lot of people join our Facebook group, which I'm really happy about. We've got over 200 people now. And I think this time last week we only had 100, or maybe just a little bit above 100. So we've gained 100 there. But we still have like 1,300 subscribers who haven't come to our group. So please, if you're one of those 1,300, we need you to join the group because that's where we talk about everything every day. We have video rooms you can chat in. I'll pop in there all the time. So will Samba and others. Very knowledgeable people will jump in there and talk, and they have very good advice for you. And we talk about astral projection. We talk about tips and tricks for that. We talk about everything you can think. You can just imagine. We talk about just life in general. So and just all kinds of stuff. Like we were discussing frequencies and sound this week, how it works, and we have some new musicians on our team in our family, and it's just so exciting. We have so many things going on in there. So if you haven't already, I believe I have a link to our YouTube page. I mean, not YouTube, on our Facebook group, in under our community tab. There should be a link there. If not, just friend me on Facebook, and you can get the link from there. But you can also just go to Facebook and groups and Game of Scrolls. Also, that'll take you right to our group. So now let me get this. Okay. All right, so what we're going to do, let's close out of this Zoom. Anybody that would like to come on, talk to JFro, and you can come into our room. I'm going to restart the meeting.
Yeah, do I have...
Okay. All right, JFro, I just started a new meeting. You can come right on in, and anybody else that would like to come, please go ahead and log on. And you could be live on the air with me. History Mom, hello. History Mom, who are you? I don't know who you and Wondering are, but I think I know everybody else so far. You guys are psychic. There we go. Jason? Now, how did I... Hello, hello.
Hello.
I know that voice. That sounds like it's Kirsty with a K from down under.
That's right.
I can't see you yet because I'm just trying to get this all straightened out here.
Oh, I don't have my video going.
Well, why not?
Oh, shame.
Uh-oh. Well, you must be eager to tell us a story tonight.
Okay. I have no idea what story.
That's awesome. We have 2 people from Australia that I know of so far. Now, let's see if I'm correct. It's 2:20 in the afternoon there?
Yeah.
Tomorrow. You're a whole day ahead.
Tomorrow, yeah, Sunday.
I know. It's just Saturday here. That's awesome.
Do we have Linda with a Y?
Yeah, she's there. Yeah.
All right.
We have Kirsty with a K and Linda with a Y tonight.
Are you sharing, Linda?
Am I sharing what?
Linda, are you sharing first?
I don't know if she wanted to come in. I just asked if anybody wanted to come in. So Kirsty came in, but where is Kirsty? It just says Zoom user.
I'm here. Yeah, I'm going to change it.
Do you have your camera on?
No, but I can.
Okay.
Okay, it looks like Donna Hardy is going to come in. So
okay.
Is that the third person?
No, we only have 2 as far as I know.
So Kirsty with a K and Donna Hardy. Donna, can you find the link to this Zoom room.
Yes. Donna is the Donna. She is the one who I named our old chat room after.
Yeah, Donna's room. Awesome. Okay, so once Donna gets in here, then we just need one more person to step up for sharing time.
Oh, I forgot my water. Darn it.
I don't know what to share.
Oh, well, you have lots to share.
You think?
It can be anything. It could be, you don't have to talk about a near-death experience. You can talk about your kids, something in your life that's happened that might be shocking to all of us or something. It could just be not shocking. It could be something that, you know.
I guess I have questions.
Okay. Questions work too.
Okay, so, well, I'll just start the clock. You want to take your 10 minutes?
Uh-oh. Darn it.
Do I really have to? Come on then, let's go.
All right, you go on then.
What am I going to do for 10 minutes? That's a long time, guys.
You don't have to use it all. You don't have to. You can just go, and I'll let you know when you get close to the end.
Yeah, you're from Australia, so there's no rules, just right.
Surfing in Australia.
Yeah.
Well, that's what I live beside the beach, so
Yeah,
and we've got a cyclone out there at the moment.
Oh, yeah. What's the name of it?
Oh, gee, Geraldine, is it?
Ah.
I think so. Oh no, Gabrielle.
Gabrielle.
Cyclone Gabrielle.
Oh man.
Off Norfolk Island.
Norfolk Island. Now that's the island between you and New Zealand, right?
Yes.
Wow. Now, okay, I gotta look that up. Wow.
It's just south of me.
Where is it heading? Where do they have it tracking to?
Oh, it's coming down the coast. It's just cruising along the edge of the coast at the moment.
Ah. Is it causing a lot of wind for you right now?
Not a huge amount of wind. It's clear day. It's really hot, but really big swells in the ocean.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
That is
like
wild.
we're in a strange spot. We have beaches facing north, and because it's producing a northerly swell, we're getting big waves on our main beach.
Ah.
Which is usually a protected bay.
Okay. Well, we all have to pray for you guys, so...
Yeah, we'll be right.
All right. Yeah, well, we can always pray it away, like they did.
Yeah.
I don't know if you remember, back in 1995, we had a huge, massive hurricane off the coast of North Carolina, and the name was Felix. Felix the cat.
Oh, yeah.
And Felix was headed right for Cape Hatteras, which is the outer islands on North Carolina, and that's where I was born, by the way.
Oh,
And one of the famous preachers in America and a bunch of people got on the beach and they were praying it away, and it came and it stopped right before it got to the beach, and then it went back out to sea.
Doesn't it?
Well, yeah, but it went back out to sea, and then it came back 2 more times.
Wow.
And they just kept praying and praying, and then it never hit. And so, I don't know. The jury's
That's pretty cool.
Jury's still out as to exactly if it was the prayer that
You never know.
prayed it away. Nobody knows. But for one thing's for sure, it never hit the United States. So there is
That's
some.
pretty cool.
There might be something to that. Who knows? Oh, we have Lou Amoroso. Hello, Lou. And Alvery from New York City.
Mm-hmm.
Welcome. And Genevieve, your name doesn't ring a bell to me. Where are you from?
It's Jen.
Oh, Jen. Wait.
We got 2 Jens tonight.
Well, oh, yeah, we have one that's Gen and one that's Jen, right? Or not? Or are they both G-E-N.
I think they're both G.
Okay. 2 Jens.
Hi, Lou.
Well, hello, everybody. Okay, now is... Oh, Jen. Now, do we want
I
to bring
think
Jen
Jen-
in?
Yeah, Jen and Donna are coming in if they can get there. And they'll be up
Okay.
next. You guys,
Okay.
Kirsty with a K, you still have about
Huh?
6 minutes to
Yeah,
speak.
I'm like,
Kirsty,
"Whoa, what are we
tell us
talking
tell
about?"
us where you're from. I know you're from
I'm from Southwest Rocks,
Southwest Rocks.
Yeah, Jen and Donna.
which is a beautiful little spot.
Right, and there's a peninsula right off the coast, right, where near you. What is the name of that peninsula?
You still have about.
Uh-oh.
I don't know. It's Trial Bay.
Yeah,
We're getting some feedback from somebody.
tell us where you're from.
What did we have to do last time? Whoever was in Zoom has to turn their...
Mute your YouTube.
Yeah, mute your mic, right?
Right, and there's a peninsula right off the coast, right?
Yeah, we're getting...
What is the name of that peninsula?
Someone needs to mute their
It's
YouTube.
Trial Bay.
Um,
I don't know. It's
getting-
Trial Bay.
Oh, my goodness.
We're getting
Oh.
There we go. All right, that's better. All right, we're done. So okay, let's start over. So
Yeah, it's where all the German convicts were, prisoners of war, and they built a jail.
A jail. I like the way you say jail. Jail. That's awesome. Yeah, jail.
G-A, no, G-O-A-L.
J-A-I-O.
G-A-O-L.
Oh,
We always
Jowl.
say Gale. When we see it, we're like, what's a Gale?
Oh, yeah, Gale. Yeah, that's the wind. That's the wind. All right, so what's the name of the peninsula you live near again?
Well, it's Trial Bay Jail. We're like the second most easterly point in Australia. So, have you heard of Byron Bay?
Yes, I've heard of Byron Bay.
We're basically little bit south of Byron Bay.
Nice.
And we're only a little bit tucked in from Byron Bay. And it's strange. Most of the East Coast is just straight line East Coast, but ours juts out, if that makes sense. So we've got beaches facing north, south, east, and west.
That's pretty cool. Now,
it's very cool.
So, see, the sun goes down in the west, so there is no beach in the west, I guess, right?
Not really, not technically, but yes, there is on ours.
So I guess you could...
Because we have the big curve around.
Right, you got the curve around, so on the south beach, you might have a little sliver that kind of gets a west view, right?
Yeah. Oh, it's actually on the north facing beach that we've got a westerly facing beach.
Ah, right.
Yeah, and then again, back around on the south.
Nice.
It goes to the easterly.
Well, someday when I come to see my daughter in Adelaide, I'll have to stop by and see all you guys over there, and that'll be really fun.
That would be.
That'll be awesome.
But no ghost stories or anything like that.
Aw, that's
no
okay.
No ghost stories.
Well, there is, because
it's Saturday night.
In our backyard,
you gotta have ghost stories.
We've got a saltwater lagoon, and it's a magical area. I think it's very spiritual area. Back in the day, before white people came to Australia, saltwater pools like what's down the back of the lagoon, surrounded by tea trees and things, they were the birthing pools for the Aboriginal people.
Ah.
And it was a sacred women's area. And so when you go down along the edge of the lagoon...
Wait, time out. You said sacred women's area?
Yes.
Now, what does that mean?
Well, in their tribal traditions and things, that was where the women only went. Men were not allowed to go there because that's where the women gave birth.
Oh, they gave birth there. Ah, there we go.
Yes, they actually gave birth in the water birthing.
Oh,
because the
water
water is sanitary.
Oh,
because it's salt and tea tree.
So it's like brackish water then, like.
Yes,
Okay.
brackish but very
Ah.
clean because
Uh-huh.
it's through a long filter of, sand and things, coffee rock and such, runs down off the mountain, and it just collects the natural rainwater from around our peninsula and circulates it back into the ocean.
Hmm. That's
And that's a
neat.
very magical spot. And you
Right.
do have lots of, I don't know, spiritual happenings down there, I guess.
Well, have you ever had any spiritual happenings yourself down there?
Oh, yeah, like the Min lights.
The Mennonites?
The Min
Oh,
lights.
Min lights.
Yes.
Mennonites.
No,
Min lights.
They're black
How do you spell that?
M-I-N-M-I-N.
The
Am I?
Dreamtime stories.
Oh,
Um,
dream. Oh, you mean like fairy tales?
yeah, we like fairy
Like
tales.
once upon a
But
time in a land far,
these are
far
big,
away.
like orbs of light that are like lightning balls almost.
Oh wow.
And, they come into an area. They're almost like UFOs, to be honest.
Wow. Now,
It's a way up. But that's what they look like, UFOs. Ooh.
Huh.
But
There's your
down lower
2-minute
than what you
warning.
expect. Pardon?
Wow.
2-minute warning.
Oh, we have Donna
Okay.
coming in. Can you see Donna's request? Can you accept it, or do I have to accept it?
I believe you have to accept it because we
Why
haven't
can't-
worked that part out yet.
All right. Oh no. All right.
Sorry.
All right. Yeah.
Sorry,
so-
Kirsty. I didn't mean to cut you
Oh,
off.
good, guys.
No. So, what's the coolest thing you've heard that has happened there? Like, what's the most interesting
What's
thing
the
you've heard?
coolest thing?
Yeah.
Oh, like seeing the Min lights, that was pretty spectacular.
But
But
like-
for me, the coolest thing that's happened here is convicts.
Convicts. Yeah. Cause so
I actually
right.
have
So there used to
experienced
be a
convicts.
penal colony there, right?
That's right.
Yeah. Yeah.
And German prisoners of war. So having
Wow.
seen their spirits around. Yes.
Now, how many Germans prisoners of war came there? Do you know?
I'm
Like,
not
approx-
100% sure how many there were
Were
exactly.
there hundreds or thousands?
Hundreds, yeah.
Wow. And
Like they actually built the jail.
oh, so they had them build things. And,
Yeah.
Wow. They built
They
their
had to
own
build-
jail, right? They built their
They
own house.
built their own jail. And like I said, remember the rock that we're supposed to meet at
yeah.
is made of granite? So is the jail. And it's the hardest rock to actually quarry.
Right. Wow.
So these guys with primitive tools built a jail out of granite.
Wow. That must be really humiliating if you're a prisoner of war and you have to build your own jail. That's like humiliating.
And they also had to build like a break wall across the
Wow.
bay with a train line across it. It's no longer there.
Ah.
Most of
wow.
it's been washed away.
Yeah. Hey, welcome, Mirage. Oh, I see Donna over there.
Yeah, Donna made it. Yay. Thank you
gotta
for
move-
sticking with it, Donna.
I gotta let me move my picture over here.
All right. So that would be a healthy 10 minutes. So I think
Yeah,
we should,
cool.
in the interest
No,
of this
well,
Zoom window.
In this stream, we're not going to really pay attention to the time very much because, we had some problems in the beginning, so we're just going to kind of wing it this time. But in the future, we're going to really try to time it so hopefully in the future we have a license for Zoom, so I don't have to keep doing this every 40 minutes.
Yeah,
But
ideally.
But anyway, we're just trying to get some kind of flow, as our samba would say, going.
Yeah.
keep our flow going. Anybody who hasn't met Samba, by the way, he's in the chat. At least he was, and he's always in our Facebook group. Always there. He's even got his own room called Samba Says. You can go, but he's usually in our general chat, and he's very, very knowledgeable. I still think he's some kind of angel myself, but he's really awesome. You guys, if you haven't met Samba yet, you need to come to our Facebook group join, and you can meet him and talk to him pretty much any time of the day. He never sleeps.
No,
I used to think I never slept, but this guy.
you don't.
Well, you don't need sleep when you have so much love that's being flown all around you. I'm telling you, you can live on love. Eventually, you're going to crash after about a week, but you can live on love for about a week without sleep, I found. So, History Mom. Okay, so welcome, Mirage. I'm not sure. I don't know if I met you before. Mirage 485 or Mirage. Yeah, and History Mom. I don't know who you are yet. So welcome, guys. It's nice to see you all. Okay, so we have Donna. How are you?
Pretty good. How are you?
Good. Now, I've been watching you from a distance. I'm always lurking in the shadows when I've been working on content, and I'm really proud of you. I gave Donna. That's another thing I wanted to say right off the bat to you guys. So one of my epiphanies I mentioned on my last Jeff Morrow podcast was talking about patterns in your life. So Donna she's had some really interesting experiences in her life, and really just she's had, how would I explain it, Donna? You've had some profound life experiences that have happened to you. And
Yeah.
so one of the exercises I gave Donna this week was to get a pad of paper and start writing, go back to her first memories and write down all the patterns that she could find in her life, things that repeat itself over and over. In doing that, and so not only recognizing patterns, but once you recognize patterns that have repeated themselves your whole life, then you want. I asked her to write down the people that were involved in those patterns. What were some of the decisions you made during the patterns, before, during, or after the patterns, and then after she got through up till today's time period, go back and read it all again to yourself and see if you can find the reason why people came into your life, and maybe the reason why you came into their life. And I think that's a good exercise for all of us, really. And I've done this. I'm still doing it. But I found this to be very rewarding if you can do this, because you have some aha moments like, oh my God, I forgot all about this, and this is why I made that decision. And then you can understand why you're here a little bit more, because we come here to experience things and experience lessons in love. And if you can identify the lessons, then you can understand why people that came into your life came into your life. And then you can say, oh, wow, I should have made this decision instead of that decision. That might have had a very different outcome. And when you do this, it sort of frees part of your soul, because then you understand everything. Like, maybe you had a loved one that just passed away, and I've talked to so many people in the last 3 weeks that have had that happen to them lately. They don't understand why somebody was in their life or why they had to pass away when they did. But if you can do this exercise, then it can help everything. It can help the grieving process. It can help, because that person didn't die. We already know that. They're already here. They're just in another dimension in a bunch of places, and they're still with you. And if you can realize why they came into your life, then you can forgive that part of your soul, and you're free. And then you can move on to what I call the next happiness in your life. And so anyway, Donna, how's that been going? How far did you get in that
Still
process?
in the process.
Have you?
I'm connecting. I'm connecting the dots. I'm seeing. Well, alcoholism is a prevalent thing in my life. It's like everybody. My best friend, both of my
Wow.
significant others in my life. My mother passed away from it.
Oh my goodness.
It's everybody.
So it's
Um,
so that's one common thread or theme that's been in your life since you can remember was alcoholism.
yeah, and the weird thing is, if I, not that I haven't drank with my friends and occasionally, but I can't stand alcohol.
Wow.
So
Now,
it's
even
just,
even when you were a young kid, like a teenager, you never drank or anything?
well, I did,
Like at
but
parties or
I drank at parties, but it was like I had to force myself to drink it because my body just, I don't know if I'm allergic or what, but I don't do well when I drink. I get really, really sick, and the 20 minutes of fun that I have isn't worth the sick I get from it.
oh wow.
But everybody around me that drinks doesn't have that. They don't seem to get the hangover. They can just drink and drink, and it doesn't seem to bother them much.
So how about your relationships? Okay, so we know your family is part of that trend. What about your relationships? Is that always been a theme, or is it a hit and miss, or how?
Yeah. Alcoholism or drug addiction, yes.
That's always been
Yeah, the
a
first
thing?
one was yes. Yeah. I can say even back before I got married the first time, alcohol or drugs of some sort were always part of
So have you?
my life.
So I guess my first question is, why do you think that is? Do you think that's because you grew up in a family that was susceptible to that, or
Yeah, my
why?
dad was an alcoholic, and
But so
the first thing I was writing about. Go
okay.
ahead.
No. I'm sorry. I got a million questions. I'm very curious about this because this is not something that is just a problem with Donna's family. It is across the board in many families around the world. It seems to be a very common theme that
Yes.
keeps repeating itself over and over and over. Like my parents never drank or smoked or anything, so I never experienced that. So I don't. I can't. I've had friends and coworkers that have been alcoholics, so I can relate to it from that standpoint. But as far as in my immediate family, nobody, even my aunts and uncles, nobody was an alcoholic at all. And I know that it's probably, I know that to you that's probably drastic, but I never did experience that growing up. It was only until I came in the military that I even saw that. So how do you think that shaped your future relationships? Like,
Well, I've
sorry if that's
always
a
been
hard
told we
question.
pick our father.
Right.
Well, I think we always, I was told we pick our fathers, and I thought for sure that no, I did not pick my father, but the triggers that happened during the relationship proved me wrong. um,
Wow.
that's funny because that's what I was writing about first was the first experience when I was about 4 and everybody was drinking, and I was curious, and I went around, and everybody who'd put down their beer bottle, I went and drank it, and I was on the floor laughing hysterically, and my mom looked at me and she goes, "What's wrong with you?" And my aunt goes, "I think she's drunk." And
oh my goodness. So why? So you didn't like
all
it
of a
though.
sudden
You
it
didn't. You
clicked.
didn't like the taste. But
No,
you did. But
no,
you just did it.
I didn't.
You just
But
did it because
but everybody
you
else
you
was, and they were
could.
silly, and I wanted to find out why, and so I
Oh,
drank it,
you
and
were a curious kitten.
yes, I was.
I see.
But what I believe is I think that the words that came out of my mom's mouth, what's wrong with you? And I felt, being empath, I felt her embarrassment. And I thought, oh, there's something wrong with me. And I don't know if
Wow.
that's why I don't like alcohol.
Now, how old were
Or
you when you did that?
um,
When you kind of finished everybody's drink
I was about
like that?
4.
4 years
I
old?
think I was 4.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
You were an empath already at 4?
Well, I might have been, because I could feel
Yeah.
her
Wow.
embarrassment. I could.
That is wild. So you remember that when you were 4? You remember all that happening?
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow. That is, I've heard of people putting beer in their babies' bottles before. That always.
I don't think my parents did that to me, but
Well, yeah. I've heard of cases where parents actually put whiskey.
Whiskey.
They mix whiskey with their milk,
oh,
and that makes them sleep, and so they don't cry.
Exactly.
oh.
I just can't even imagine that, but apparently that
I'm
happens
surprised that they will
a
drink
lot.
that.
Yeah, I've also heard of parents diluting their formula too, and that can cause a lot of problems with the baby too. That's another
Yeah,
thing. Just
I
formula
remember
is
hearing
so
about
expensive.
it.
I think that's sad. They have to put formula behind a locked door in the stores because they don't want people to steal it. To me,
Yeah.
that's just asinine. I mean, you know, trying to prevent somebody from stealing, and um, that might end up killing an infant. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
That seems so sad to me,
So I have a question though for Donna, but how do you feel your empathic side made you connect with the people that you ended up connecting with? Do you feel like that guided you, or were I don't know how to go ahead.
My second long-term relationship, the last one, there was like I was drawn really strongly to him, and I felt like this is my soulmate.
Yeah.
And I connected with, I think we trauma bonded. We connected with our pain from our past, and yeah, I felt like I was under a spell. It was the strongest I ever felt pulled to study. And I know that I was supposed to go through what I went through with him now, but through all of the I felt like I'm supposed to, and I'm supposed to love him better.
Yeah.
But then I found out you can't love somebody better. They have to actually want it also. And although he did sometimes, when you get to a certain point, it was, I think, the fear of feeling those feelings.
Huh. So,
so
now,
deeply.
So that was your first relationship? Was somebody you thought kind of mirrored your dad in a way?
Or the most recent one?
Or the most recent one, or all of them?
The most recent one, definitely. But well, they both did. But the second one, a lot more stronger. He triggered my dad issues immensely.
Wow. Well, now I remember you have 8 kids, right? Was it
7
or 7? Where did I come up with 8?
Yeah. Well, I have 9 grandkids. 8 is my number. That's why.
maybe that's why 7 kids. Wow. Now, I remember you told me you on your second time around, your second relationship, you had almost the same almost the same amount of kids, right, that you had on your first relationship. Something
No,
like
I had
that,
5
right?
with my
the
first
first, 5
husband,
the first,
and 2 with
2.
Yeah, 5 the first one, and then two more.
Wow.
Busy lady.
I know. Woo.
Yeah.
That's a lot of
Both
kids.
babies.
Are your kids, do they also have empathic tendencies or anything?
Yeah, there's a few of them. Few of them, yes.
Wow.
That's so cool.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I found that all of you all that have joined our new family, all of us have very interesting gifts, and I call them superpowers, for lack of a better word. But it's amazing how we've all been coming together, and we seem to be feeding off each other's energies, and our all of our gifts have become heightened, which is very interesting as well. I'm really curious to see how this how this all plays out in the end. But from my vantage point, it's amazing. If you guys have never seen the show Heroes, I think it was a show on ABC in 2006. But our new family, our Game of Scrolls family, reminds me a lot of Heroes. We have some really cool talents in the group. We have artists, we have musicians, we have just about everybody that from every part of life that has some unique talent that can contribute to this group, and it's pretty amazing to me. I'm still speechless. But well, Donna,
We've got about, if I can interject for a second, we've got about 6 minutes left in this Zoom window. And Jen, I wondered if you would like to come back and when we open the next one, along with a couple more people.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to cut you short.
No, and Donna, we'll have you back on very soon to see how your progress is going with that, because I want to see if this really helps people. The homework assignment I gave you. I want to see how that. I want to see how that. I want to see if you can figure out why you made the decisions you made, and maybe find out later.
I don't know. I can't hear you anymore hardly.
Who?
I think it's my internet service. It's just not
really?
good sometimes.
Okay,
Yeah.
and Donna, come back in, okay? I want to finish talking to you. I'm going to go ahead and end this stream because I'm not the YouTube stream, just the Zoom stream. So I'm going to start it back and come back in, okay? Yeah, Jen, come back in, and then we'll let one more, and then we'll see what happens. I don't know.
Okay, sounds good.
All right, hang on 1 second. Oh. Make sure I do this right. Okay, there we go. Now, there we go. They do this on purpose. They make you buy a subscription so you don't have to go through all these little hoops. Jen,
Hi.
Jfro, I haven't started a new meeting yet. So, Jen, how do I? Okay, there we go. There we go. Now I can start a new meeting. Okay, guys, I just started a new meeting, so we have a new 40 minutes starting. Okay, there we go. Okay. Jfro, I got you in. Oh my god. Alright, we have Jen coming back in. Yeah, Jfro, you won't believe it. My little candle thing fell over at the beginning of the stream, and I have this big river of yellow wax all the way down my right monitor.
Oh no. Oh no.
Yeah. So
Well, we'll
that's
get out the
good.
razor blade later.
That's gonna be fun to get off there. Okay, we have Jen. Is Donna coming back? I asked her to come back. Donna, where are you? Ivan, what's up, brother? All right. I don't know if Donna, are you still out there? Who else wants to come in and say hi? Share alien stories?
Ivan, come on, are you holding out on us?
Yeah, Ivan. Hi, brother. That's awesome. I don't know if Donna's coming back, so Jen, in the meantime, let's talk to you.
Hi.
Hi.
Um,
Now, remind me, where are you from?
I'm Jen from Philippines.
Oh, that's
from
right.
Manila.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
Our newest
Okay.
admin in the Facebook group.
Yes, you're our new. Okay, I didn't know because there's two Jens here, so I had to make sure you were that one. Okay.
There's Donna.
Oh, there's
Oh,
Donna.
Donna's back. Oh,
Mhm.
Jen, hang on one sec. I want to finish wrapping up Donna's story, and then I'll get to you. Okay.
Sure.
All right, Donna. So I want so you've started writing things down. How far have you gotten so far? Donna, can you hear me? We might have to come back to.
I think it's her internet. She mentioned it was.
Oh, there she
There.
is. There she is. You're back.
Hi, hon.
I am, but you're quiet again.
Yay.
All right. So, when you were coming in, I was asking you, so how far have you gotten in that exercise? How far did you go back? Or have you gone all the way back to the beginning, as far as you can remember? And how far have you gotten? so
I
far?
started at that the part I spoke about when I was 4, and there's so many connections. It was like, wow, I can see this is going to be volumes and volumes.
Wow. Well, yeah. So yours is going to be a work in progress for a while, it sounds like. So
I'm hardly hearing you. I don't know why.
You're hardly hearing me?
Yeah, you're super, super quiet.
Huh.
I've
J-Fro,
got you
can you
on
hear me
4.
okay on your side?
I read you both loud and clear.
Okay.
Hmm.
That's interesting. Somebody else I was talking to recently said that, but they, I knew who it was. It was Stella. She said she had her volume turned all the way up, but she couldn't hear very well. And I knew I was coming out very strong, so I'm not sure why that happens. But
Yeah, I tried to connect my speaker, but it won't connect. So.
Well, I'll try to speak a little louder. Hopefully, I don't blow anybody's eardrums away out there.
Thank you.
How? I would say, besides alcoholism, what other patterns have you seen so far, if any?
Self-esteem, low self-esteem, all over my family.
Wow.
Both my parents.
How many siblings do you have?
I have one sister. That's all.
One sister. Oh, there's only 2 of you. Now, was her life, her choices she made similar to yours?
Yes. Yes.
Hmm. Wow. What's your age difference?
She's 2 years younger than I am.
Oh
I'm
wow.
forget how old I am. 50, 57, 58.
Wow. That's interesting. I wonder, outside of this life, how you're connected in other lives you've lived or you're living right
Yeah.
now.
Um,
That'd be very interesting to find out.
I don't know with my sister, but I know that my last relationship, I did some past life regression, and I was shown a part where, well, because backtrack a little bit, my last relationship, I had this intense fear, but I wasn't, my head knew that he wasn't going to hurt me really bad, but I had this like overwhelming fear, and I wanted to know why. And when I regressed into there was a part where I was a little boy, and my father killed me, and the
That's
realization
right. I
was
remember you telling me
that's
that
him.
now.
Yeah. So I think that my higher self was trying to tell me that's where that fear comes from, and I believe there was probably some other lives that I wasn't shown at that time because it was a really long one. But
Wow. Now, when you had your past life regression, is it still like fresh in your memory, or how does that work? I've never had one done, but I definitely do want to get one for
yeah,
sure.
I wish there was more that I could remember, but I do remember. I do remember parts of it. Well, that part for sure, but there was a couple of other lives where I had lost. I had lost my partners.
Oh
One
wow.
was killed in a war, and then I was in another life. I was a daughter of a man who was very powerful, and I was a ballerina, and
A
he purposely
ballerina. Wow.
broke my foot,
Oh
so
my
I couldn't
goodness.
dance, and I was like his kind of caretaker, captive. I felt like I remember I looked up on the wall and I saw all these dolls and they were under glass. And I said, that's how I feel. I feel like I'm in this glass case that I can't get out of.
Wow.
But I chose to stay and take care of him anyways, even though I couldn't enjoy my life. And that's their connection to why I stay till I lose myself.
Wow. That's wild. Now, do you remember seeing your sister in this life, in those other lives, at all?
No,
Huh.
no. It was mostly about me running away or losing my partner, or how would I say that? Giving so much to others that I, didn't live my own life.
Wow.
I was always taking care of somebody else.
Imbalance.
Yeah.
Huh. That's very interesting. So that's something you've been able to pinpoint as well as the alcoholism.
Just recently.
Wow.
I didn't know at the time. In fact, when I walked away from it, I thought, I don't think I was hypnotized. I think I faked it. And then as I thought about it, it's like, how could I have made up those stories?
Right. No,
So
I can understand. Like when you astral project and you're on I know you're doing great with that too, and that we're all trying to do that. I'm on my 5th attempt to get to El Capitan, by the way, guys. 5th, number 5. Tonight will be number 5. So
I'm gonna do it again tonight too.
I have to beat my record of 56 nights this time. So I got 51 more tries, 52 more tries to go. So I am bound to do it. Watch. Oh, and
yes.
I've been putting a crystal. I have a rose quartz crystal egg. I think I showed you guys, and I've been putting it on my throat chakra, and it's been staying there all night. So that's pretty cool. And then I'm putting the quarters on my eyes because that's what I did before when I had my first experience. So I'm trying to I'm trying to go to the place where I left off last, and I'm doing everything I can that I did back then to make it happen faster.
Hey Donna, there is a question from the chat. History Mom wants to know what kind of past life regression technique you use.
Oh yeah.
I went to a lady who studied with Dolores Cannon.
The famous Dolores Cannon. Her name keeps coming up.
I know. I had never heard of her before you guys formed this family here, but I've watched a couple videos or a couple interviews with her, or they weren't interviews. They were her speaking in front of an audience. She was sitting in the big green chair.
So say a little bit about that technique she uses, please, Donna.
Yeah.
Well, did a whole bunch of stuff for a few hours before we even started. One part, she took a knife and she went around my whole body and it cut the knife was cutting away the egg. Remember that? I can't remember what all she did, but she did things, and then I was there long. I can't believe it. She spent that much time with. It was like I was there like 9-10 months. And then she took me up to the room, and I laid in bed, and she did the same thing Dolores Cannon does. She takes you up on a cloud, and
now I've never been hypnotized, as far as I know, other than myself hypnotizing me. Did she use any kind of pendulum, or how does that work? Uh-oh. Yeah, Donna, you're really breaking up. I'm not sure what's going on. Try to turn your video. Try to turn your video off for right now. See if that helps.
okay, see if I can figure out how to do that.
Yeah, there should be a little camera icon on your Zoom that you can just click, and that should toggle it. I don't know if I can do it for you or not.
There.
I think that'll help you.
Oh, I got sound.
Oh, there you go. Oh, we can hear you. Yeah,
Awesome.
we can hear you better now. All right. Okay, so yeah, did you hear my question about what method did they use to hypnotize? Was it just by voice, or did they use any kind of visual aids, like a pendulum, like in the old movies or whatever?
No, she just used her voice, and she took me up on a little cloud. And that's what Dolores does. Yeah, she does something with it. She has you imagine you're on a little cloud and you're floating. And it was weird because suddenly I jumped up and said, I have to go to the bathroom. I think there was something trying to prevent me from doing this. And she freaked out. She goes, no. If you have to get up, I have to talk. And I didn't even have to go to the bathroom. It was just all of a sudden, I don't know if it was fear or what, but
wow, that's wild. So did you have to run to the bathroom?
Well, no, she had to do something first before she had to finish doing something before she could let me go, so that I wouldn't go out of the hypnotism, I guess.
Wow.
And she finished that, and it was kind of like I felt like I was kind of dreaming when I walked into the restroom, and then when I got there, I didn't have to go to the bathroom. So I had a
Oh,
thought that
wow.
something was trying to stop me from doing this. And when I
Check
came
it
back,
out.
it took me a little bit to kind of get back into relaxing, and it felt like I was pretending at first, because Dolores says, you know, that's kind of how hypnotism works. If you think you can't be hypnotized, then you start using your imagination, and you kind of pretend at first, and then the pretending will turn into what you're wanting. And so I pretended at first, and then all these stories were coming out of my mouth, and then I was seeing things as I was telling the stories. And
Wow.
I remember one part, the part when I was the little boy. I said, oh my gosh, she's mad at me, and my whole body started shaking really, really hard. And that's the only time I really felt my whole body was just like trembling. Like I knew something was going to happen to me. And then she calmed me down after that, and we went to another lifetime. And I was in a dark room, and I heard my parents talking behind the door. And it was in a dark room, and there were heavy curtains on the windows, I could tell. And I remember through the door, and I said, oh, we have a really nice house. And I can hear my parents talking, and they didn't want to. I heard my dad say, we have to tell her. And my mom said, oh, this is going to kill her. We can't tell her. And I knew that somebody, my boyfriend who went overseas, had died.
Wow.
Man. So, do you, I want to talk about real fast the little boy, when you were a little boy. Because that's the first one you mentioned, the first life you mentioned.
That's the one that stood out, because I connected that with, oh, that's why I'm afraid of my last relationship. That's why I'm afraid of him, because after that, after we walked to the graveyard, I said, oh my gosh, it's him.
Wow. So your father in this life was your father in that life too?
No, no, I didn't connect who my dad was, but he was probably somebody in there. He may have been my dad in the house where I thought I was one of the dolls under the glass.
Wow. Now you said you did you die as a boy, a young boy?
Yeah, probably about 4 or 5. I was in the room, and he came with this great big, like, not a stick, but a big bar of metal. It was a huge, like, pole. And he swung it and hit me, and I flew up against the wall. And as soon as I hit the wall, I said, I think I'm dead.
Oh my God.
And then he carried me out to a graveyard, and I said, oh my gosh, my whole family's out here. He killed everybody.
Good Lord. Now you said she, though. Was that your mother that had this bar, or was it your father?
Oh, no, that was my father. When I was a little boy, it was my father. She asked, where's the rest of your family? And I said, I don't know.
Oh, this is this is the therapist that's doing the hypnosis session.
Yeah, she asked me, you know, do you see the rest of your family? And I said, no, it's just me. I'm here by myself, and my dad's mad at me. And she said, why? And I said, I don't know. I did something wrong. And then I could see his footsteps under the door, and then I started shaking really bad, and he came in with that big pole, and he hit me and killed me. And then he picked me up and carried me out to a graveyard. And just as he was carrying me out, I could feel that he felt bad about it, like he couldn't help it. And then I looked, and there were a bunch of graves, and it was the rest of my family. So he had killed everybody. And I think he did it kind of accidentally. He just couldn't control his anger and he killed everybody.
Wow.
Holy crap.
And he had like a moment of compassion, but it was done. He couldn't turn it around. So
That is wild. Now, what was your point of view at the time? Were you on the outside looking at both of you, like your dead body in his arms, going into the graveyard, or
yeah.
were you actually in the body, or
were
you still alive?
I felt like I was the little boy, but at the same time I could see. I was like standing back and I could see everything that was going on.
Wow.
But the fear I felt that was the strongest emotion that I felt during the whole hypnosis, was that fear, because it just made my whole body just tremble really hard.
Intense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. That is. Now, you were so young. I'm sure that some of the decisions you made weren't that important in that life, I imagine, because you're so young. But did you see anything in that life that's connected to this life, in some of the decisions you made in this life at all?
Yeah, my fear has made me. I know that relates to PTSD, but my fear is. It causes me to not. I make a lot of mistakes, or not mistakes, but I do a lot of weird things when I'm in that. I also tend to, choose not to feel my feelings. I choose to escape those, running away. I have done other drugs to not feel.
There's another good question from History Mom in the chat. And Donna, she'd like to know if you could tell what era in time this life was happening in.
That's a good question. And who are you, History Mom? I want to know who you are. Do I know you?
What era? I don't know. I would say, I don't really know, but it seemed like maybe we had a farm, but the house was it was like wood floors, but you could see dirt through the bottoms of the door. It was very basic.
Did you see any horse and buggies or cars or anything?
No, I just saw the inside of that room, and it was kind of just a room with a bed and a window and no furniture. How
did the bed look? Did it look like a modern bed, or
4 wooden posts with it was like a wooden bed with a mattress like stuffed with maybe straw or something like that.
Now we're talking maybe like 1800s or back.
Do you remember what your dad was wearing?
He was wearing kind of like overalls with no shirt.
Yeah, that could be just about any farmer in the 1800s.
Yeah,
early 1900s.
My grandpa Hodges, he used to wear overalls. You know, those kind that had the pinstripe kind of things.
Yeah.
And he wore like a T-shirt underneath that. That's about all he ever wore my whole life. So yeah.
My dad wore those same overalls.
I know. It's wild how that happens. I can remember my grandfather. He didn't like John Deere for some reason. He was a Massey Ferguson kind of guy. All of his tractors were Massey Fergusons. And yeah, he even wore a Massey Ferguson cap sometimes. So. That's wild. Okay, so I know we're Jafer. I think this is good because Donna has a very unique story, and we need to take more time with the story than we normally would.
It's your show. We're just trying this format out to try to keep the cross chat down and
I know.
focus on the individual. So this is awesome.
I'm making an executive decision because she out of all the cases, and I talked to hundreds and hundreds of people so far in the last 3 weeks. Her case is one that fascinates me more than a lot of them because she's had a past life regression, which is very interesting. And I'm trying to piece my own experiences. When I had a near-death experience, I experienced many lives too, and I wasn't under a regression. And I'm trying to figure out how my experiences and her experience relate. Because even though we went a little bit different about finding out about our other lives we're living, I'm curious to know how how these other lives played into this life. Because a lot of people have asked me so far, what, can you give us some examples of how decisions in this life have affected the other lives and the other way around? And it's hard to give that in a little pocket of time answer because, and that's why I asked you if you could write down all the patterns, because the patterns are the key. These patterns, when I had my near-death experience, they repeated themselves in all these other lives.
Some of them call them karmic patterns.
Yeah.
Well,
So
I can say running.
my patterns
running away.
repeated, and sometimes some lives the patterns are very in your face, like this is exactly why you're living this life is because you thought these things in this life and other lives, or you made these decisions. And sometimes they're very subtle in other lives. Like, I think that's why I was shown the San Diego life first, the alternate reality San Diego, because that was the closest life that was connected to this life out of all those infinite amount of lives that I experienced. And this life and the San Diego life were very connected by the patterns. And I'll talk about those patterns sometime. I'm trying to think of what I'll name that series. But this is I don't want to make this channel about me at all. Although I know you guys have a lot of questions about my experiences. I think it's important that there's so many of us. There's going to be a lot more of us coming, and I want us to share more than my experiences. I want to share your experiences so we can find all these missing pieces we're supposed to find. And so, in time, I'll give little tidbits here and there, but I want to focus on you guys for right now the most, and because we're all connected. I think it's quite obvious, and everybody in the audience that I've talked to, you know what I mean. It's amazing. I can't wait to talk to Ivan again, because just wait till you hear all the synchronicities just with us. And so anyway, I digress. Back to you, Donna. Sorry. So what other, besides the little boy, what other lives did you see that you think are connected to this life and contributed to the decisions you made, or maybe the decisions you made here affected those lives that you saw when you were under hypnosis?
Well, I remember I was with the same father who kept me under glass. I had run away with this boy, and
this is the ballerina
didn't have
life?
any money. And my father, yeah, I ran away with this boy, and he didn't have money, and my father was upset about it, and he found him and came and sent somebody to come and talk to him. And then one night, he says, "We're going to town." And I said, "I don't want to go to town. I don't want to go back to my father." And he says, "Well, we have to." And I felt like he had sent some people to this man and threatened him or paid him off to go away, and took me back to my father. And then I never saw him again. And so that's when I stayed at my dad's house, and he was in a wheelchair. I remember that. And I remember that I loved him, and I just chose to just I felt like I was trapped. Like I had no choice but to stay there with him because he had so much money and power that wherever I went, he would find me and he would get me back. And so I just chose to stay and be what he needed me. I guess I was an only child, and I was the only one that he wasn't a very nice man to other people. And so he didn't have a wife, or I don't know what happened to my mom in that life. I just know that afterwards I was there and I felt trapped that I had to stay. And I felt like he needed me, and because of that, I was obligated to stay and help him. And if I ran away, he would just find me.
Wow. Now, how old were you as this ballerina when you got to it during the regression? At what age did that memory start?
I was probably 13, 14, somewhere in there. I remember we were outside and he was digging a hole or moving rocks or something in our yard. And he told me to go down under and do something that was near where the machine, it was like a excavator.
Right.
And I didn't understand why he wanted me to go down there, but he hit me with the bucket and it broke my leg.
Right. And which ended your ballerina career, at least for a while, right?
Yeah, it made me so I had to stay home and I couldn't run away.
Wow. Right. I remember reading a book by Dr. Brian Weiss. I don't know if you guys have ever heard of him. He's a psychiatrist at Sinai Medical Center in Miami, Florida. And he's interviewed people like that. He's taken people back into their past lives as well, like you did, and all the way through. Like this one lady, I remember, she had really bad arthritis in her knees, and then when he took her back into these past lives, which I now know are parallel lives, but he found out that this lady, no matter what life she was in, always had trauma with her knees in those lives. And when she figured, and the more he took her back, it took a lot of sessions, but he went all the way back to this really ancient time when she was a prison warden, and she did the same thing that you experienced in the ballerina life. She was a prison warden, and she hobbled all the prisoners so they couldn't escape. And once she realized that she had done that, and she was a male in that life as a prison warden. Once she realized that, she asked for all those people to forgive her in that life. And when she came back out of hypnosis after all that, her knees were fine. They were completely fine. Like she was healed, basically. And that's what I'm interested in. That's why I'm kind of interested in this particular life you experienced as well. Have you ever had problems with your ankle or your leg in this life?
Yeah, actually, the last couple of days I've been walking around. It's like my ankle feels weird. It feels kind of like it wants to roll, but when I walk, and it's the same foot that I remember. And during the hypnosis, during other lifetimes, I was feeling it in the lifetime, but I kept saying my foot hurts. Ow, my foot hurts. After that life, after I talked about it during the other regressions, I was laying on the bed and my foot actually hurt.
Wow. So maybe you still haven't gotten to the crux of the matter. You might need some more regression work done to go back and find out why this ankle is still hurting in this life. It's almost like a little early warning signal or something that there's more to be found to figure out why your ankle's hurting like this,
Could be.
And maybe that's very interesting.
Okay, there's a little bit less than 5 minutes left in this Zoom meeting.
Okay.
Jen, I hope you're hanging in there. We'll get to you.
I
Please
know.
don't go. Please come back. And
Yeah, I'm here.
Yeah. So
Right.
so to wrap this up with Donna, keep doing what you've been doing. Okay, writing things down. I think this exercise is going to prove invaluable for you. And then we're going to have you on a few more times, of course, as many times as we need to get see if we can get to the bottom of this in this life. You may not need any more regressions at all. You might put it all together based on that one regression and everything you self-identify in this life. All the patterns, and it's patterns. I'm telling you guys, these patterns is why we're here.
Well,
These
I'm
patterns.
seeing them now.
What's that?
I'm seeing the pattern, but I don't know what to do with them yet. But I see them.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
Seeing
No,
there's a
no,
lot-
yeah.
the same ones.
You will.
That's good though.
battle.
Half the battle.
Yeah, half the battle is discovering the patterns, and then once
Yeah.
you discover the patterns, then you can find out who to forgive, who did what to, why you've made the decisions you've made, how you could have made them better, how many lives were affected by your decisions in these patterns. And once you do that, it sets your soul free. I'm telling you, I'm still doing it a decade later. It's a process, and
Yeah.
I'm not a trained psychiatrist or whatever, but I know this works. This type of thing works. At least for me, it does. And I've never felt freer in my life that I do right now, just because I've been going through the same exercise myself. Anyway, yeah, thanks for coming on and catching us up to speed with your story a bit, and we'll put a pin in that. And next time we talk, you can tell us all the progress you've been making. That's awesome.
Keep popping in and out.
Yeah, it's awesome. And anybody that wants to talk to Donna, she's got her own room now, and she's always in there, voicing out, vocalizing things out in the open, and about her thought processes and things. And she's going to be one of our very first astral projectors in the family. I have no doubt.
Oh yeah, I'm
Because you're
close. I'm so close.
That's awesome. I know.
Exciting.
I know. That's awesome. I'm getting close too. My intent is the one thing I really need to work on. But lately I've been so drained at the end of the day that it's really hard to keep that focus. But that's something I have to work on. That's probably my number one thing I have to work on. Is my intent, and not
I
let my.
tend to get so into it that I fall asleep a lot. So
That's okay. That's normal. That's normal, and that's your that's that tug of war I was telling you about. It's a tug of war between drowsy eyes and the finish line, and you have to
Yeah.
you have to use all your determination to get past that little point where you can't let the drowsiness win. You have to just power through it somehow, and once you do, you're going to be wide awake. Once you get past that little edge, and
Well, I was wide awake the other time. I was stuck in my belly button.
That's wild. I've never come out through my belly button, but I've heard others that have.
Yeah, I felt really attached to my belly button.
Awesome. Well, Donna, I love you. Thanks for coming on and telling us that. Jen, come back when I'm going to restart this stream in a minute because it's about to end. And then Ivan or whoever else wants to join us, just come on in. And this is so interesting. And Donna, we'll be following your progress in our group, of course.
Absolutely. Thank you, Don.
All right, I'm gonna go ahead and end this and start. Oh, here it goes. It just ended right now, so I'm gonna start it back up. New meeting. Okay. All right. We have a new meeting. Okay. J Fro, I got you back. Genevieve, where are you from? Where in History Bomb? Where are you from?
Oh, Jen and Genevieve are the same person. She had two accounts in the chat.
Oh, okay. So we got Genevieve. Okay, gotcha. So History Mom's still a mystery to me.
She's Nicole. She joined our our Facebook group a day or 2 days ago.
Okay.
I think I might have let her in, actually. Hi, Nicole.
Awesome. What name would I know her by? Do you remember her Facebook name?
Nicole P something.
Oh, Nicole.
She put it in the chat. Yeah.
Oh, okay. I know who Nicole is. Hi, Nicole. Yes, I remember I talked to Nicole for a little bit. Okay, so Jen.
Hi.
And we got room for one more spot, you guys, if you want to come in. Or if not, we'll catch you on the next Zoom that we start. So tell everybody who you are, Jen, and a little bit about your background, and then tell us a story we don't know.
Okay. Hi, so I'm Jen, or Genevieve C. I'm living in the Philippines. I'm in Manila right now. I work as a concept artist for games.
Nice.
What else? I work from home, and I found this page because of Jeff and Mara's podcast, and I felt like it's calling me, so I happened
Nice.
to, yeah.
Nice. Now, I guess my first question would be, what got you interested in near-death experiences, or was it just kind of a happenstance that you found Jeff Mara's show?
It's quite a long story. I mean, last year was the time, like my turning point in my life, and then I would just look at NDEs because I never had an NDE, but I do have some experiences that are maybe similar to NDEs, because I had the chance to take plant medicine, which is ayahuasca.
Oh, right.
So,
On our last stream, we had, who was it that told us about his ayahuasca experience? I'm trying to remember. Don, yeah.
John.
Oh, John, right, John. He was in, I think he was in Idaho, if I remember right, when he did that. Yeah, tell us about your ayahuasca experience. That's very interesting. I haven't done that yet.
Yeah, that was quite rare here in Southeast Asia, because most countries here don't really accept plant medicine yet.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so I did have QHHT as well, like what Donna had, because I was looking for answers.
Oh, so you had a regression done?
Yeah, I had a regression done. So
did you do it the same time you were taking ayahuasca?
Yeah, I did it a week apart, and
oh wow.
It was coincidental as well. I could share that story.
Yeah, please. You have the floor.
I'll summarize it a bit because it was a 1 year thing. So what led me to this, what kickstarted my journey, was meeting a person, and this person is another story for another day because it's really long. This person kind of, what I could say, is activated me.
Okay.
Like everything about me. Well, when I was a kid, I was also sensitive, but I did not pay attention to it because my family mostly would suppress it, so I just thought maybe it was my imagination. So I always have dreams of a certain boy who is similar to me,
Hmm.
aura wise, and I keep having dreams of him, and I felt like I would be meeting someone eventually, but I don't know when. And
Ah.
so, yeah,
Like a
uh,
meeting somebody for a relationship purpose, or
in the dream was that these were several dreams since I was 7 to 12 years old. There were a lot of
wow,
dreams. Yeah. So
wow,
most of the stuff that's happening to me right now, it's just unfolding. All the dreams that I had when I was young were
wow.
actually deja vu. And then they were like falling into place now as I go after I had my regression and ayahuasca. It was like telling me ahead of time that this is the path you gave yourself, you
So,
know?
if you don't mind me asking, what age bracket are you in? How long has it been since you first started having these dreams?
Since I was a kid, I always had these weird dreams. They were like nightly stuff. Like, for example, I would dream about a few days in the future, what's gonna happen, then it happens. It's like deja vu. It happens all the time.
Cool.
Yeah,
Um,
me too.
it was
Definitely.
pretty strong, especially when the times when you're going through something tough. So I didn't really have a very good childhood. So yeah. Also, fast forward to the future. I met the guy in my dream. I didn't really see his face, but I felt his aura. You
Right.
know the aura. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then
Can
it
can you
kind
see can you see auras today? Like, can you see people's auras?
if I close my eyes, I would see colors, but I would say they were like the current chakra that's activated with that person, or what's very muddy with that person right now, depending on what they're going
Oh,
through. So it's
that's interesting. I've never heard of this before. Like, now, so you can sense chakras, like,
yeah. Mhm.
so in your. Let me see if I can ask this the right way. So when you see or feel an aura, it's just one chakra sometimes, and not all of them, or is
Most of
it?
the time, it's so tricky to describe. Like if I would close my eyes and let's say you're going through something tiring or you're drained, it will show me like a very dark and muddy red, and then there were like holes in it.
Ah,
Yeah.
interesting.
Then sometimes there will be images formed from it, but very blurry images,
Wow.
something like that. Yeah.
And what is your vantage point when you see this? Are you just floating in the air in space, or are you in your body?
It's just me sitting down, and then I would see the colors. It's like ink blots or smoke, colored smoke
Yeah,
when you
yeah,
close.
yeah. I see that in my TV screen sometimes. Like, I'll be talking to
Yeah.
somebody on the phone, and I'll see a name that's written in smoke, and
Yeah.
um, I didn't used to pay attention to that, but now I really pay attention to that very closely, because it's usually important. But
Yeah.
yeah. So you see. So now you said you saw the one chakra that was activated. Are you saying that uh, is it usually in your experience you only see one chakra, like, more activated than all the rest?
Mhm.
Yeah.
No, usually I would see the chakras that are more actively used. It could be one, it could be two that's mixing together. It could be one after the other, like it's shifting. It could shift. It depends on the person. And then the intensity of the color would depend on what the person's going through right now. If it's
Hmm.
like very pastel color, like pastel blue, I would probably feel that the person's very suppressed and not really speaking about what they're going through. You know, if it's really vibrant purple, then that person's like very active on the head area or forehead.
Right. Right. Yeah. That's my favorite color, by the way. I love purple. I've always liked it, and now I kind of know why. I didn't understand it growing up. Why did I like purple ever since I can remember? But it definitely after my near death experience for sure it became evident why like it was a um, but anyway yeah, that's interesting. So now you said that these dreams you had, you're starting to realize what they mean now. Can you give
Yeah.
us like an example? Like,
Like, okay, for example, when I was younger, I remember going to this, I was flying. I didn't know if this is astral projection, but this dream just injected itself in the middle of my dreams. And I was flying on top of this property. And I was really young back then, so probably this property hasn't even been built that time.
hmm,
It was in the province, and then it has like a gazebo. It has like a very elaborate chandelier, and then it has some weird paintings that are very peculiar. So in the dream, I flew around the area where the chandelier is, and then I saw paintings that were very specific to that place. Like there was this one painting that has an astronaut in it, and I focused on that. And
hmm.
then when last year, when I had my third ayahuasca journey,
Your
that was
third. Wow, you had three. Wow.
yeah,
I want
I
you to talk
was
about that next, by the way. I want you to talk about your experiences and what you experienced.
okay, yeah, sure. So with the painting, when I went to that house, I didn't really expect that that was the house in my dream before. So when I walked in and I saw that painting, I was like, oh my God, this is the painting that I saw in my dream like decades ago. It just like fell into place. The feeling like, oh my God, I've been here. And then it fell
Right.
into place.
Wow. Yeah, isn't that a wild feeling? Um, I have it all the time. So
Yeah.
I know exactly how it feels. Or have you ever had a dream where you've it's kind of a recurring dream, but not like you might have had it like 10 years ago or something, and yeah, you'll be doing stuff in this illusion, I call it, and then all of a sudden you just remember about that dream, and you feel like, oh my god, I wish I could go back there
Yeah.
and continue well, yeah, I have that all the time, and that's because you are doing that already. It's like in my experience anyway, we're living all these lives at the same time we're living this life, but our brain stops us from remembering until you're in dream state or something causes that to bleed through our circuitry somehow, or maybe we're meant to remember that one
Mhm.
thing, at a certain
Yeah.
time. I don't know. The jury's still out on that one, but yeah, that's cool. That's so neat that you have that like I do. Um,
That
and
happens a lot. Yeah, at some point, like, but it stopped at some point. Like it
really,
stopped. Yeah, there was a gap for me. So after like when I turned 20 something, that decade, it stopped in my 20s. And
hmm,
then it came back when I met this person like tenfold. It like
wow. So this person energized you somehow, like
it's
gave
like when I
you, huh?
it's like when I met him.
But
He
you,
kind
but
of
you,
brought back
but you had a dream. You dreamt about this person when you were little.
yeah, his energy was so him, so distinct.
Wow.
Yeah. So so it's as if like regardless of what character he's using, I would always know that it's him, you know,
Right. Just because you just feel his energy.
because of his energy signature.
Wow,
Yeah.
that's awesome. Now,
Yeah.
are you still with this person, or are you still affiliated with them in this life?
We're very good friends, but you know, if you believe in what you read about twin flame, it is something like that, the pattern.
Ah, yes.
Yeah, but I do not label
Tw-
it at
tw-
all.
I'm pretty sure I met a twin flame as well in this life. It's been a long time, but
Mhm.
I couldn't be around that person at all, like
Yes.
at all. It was like a catastrophe. But yet, we seemed to, when we were together, it seemed like we were like a force that could never be reckoned with, like kind of thing. But at the
Okay.
same time, I couldn't be around them. It was impossible. Like, uh,
Mhm.
yeah, maybe I'll tell that story someday. But it's, yeah, twin flames. It sounds all good, on paper, but
Yeah.
it's not a very nice experience sometimes.
It's not very nice.
Yeah,
What
I know exactly what you mean.
it's
I,
not something I would wish on my enemy, but I would
right,
say
I
I
got
would
you.
we
Now I understand.
we get along really well. It's perfect. But the life circumstance is designed for us to grow. It was
Mm,
designed that way, you know. But if it's just us, we don't really trigger each other. But it's the life circumstance that surrounds the both of us that triggers us both to to grow, to expand, you know. So
yeah,
that's my situation, my
from
relationship.
a distance, right?
Yeah,
From a distance.
yeah, from a distance, yes. And
Uh,
it's because of this connection that my life started arranging itself.
hmm.
Um, what could have been, you know, meeting people, getting opportunities, like manifestation becomes faster because of this guy. It's
Wow.
crazy. And then there's like a pattern, you know, like nothing could really go wrong if you're meant to meet this day. It will really fall into place. And then I started seeing angel numbers
Oh
when I
yes.
when I met him. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I see angel numbers all the time, just like you guys do. All my life, I've seen the combination of ones for sure. Like when my mom found out she had cancer back in 1989 into 1990. Every time I flew home from Hawaii, um, when the Red Cross flew me home, I I was on flight 111 1111.
Wow.
It's yeah. Even then, I've seen that number has played a huge part of my life, and I never knew what it meant. I just figured, well, if I see this, that means I'm on the right path somehow. Like
Yeah.
that's how I always thought of it. Um, and no one ever told me that or anything. And then I guess um, you know, like maybe around 2008 or 9, after when I got sick and stuff, I started hearing about these angel numbers, and I was like, oh wow, I'm not the only one that's experiencing this. And ever since that, it's just gotten bigger and bigger and bigger. I've seen more and more people seeing that, and I'm not sure if that's a glitch in the matrix or if we're all supposed to see it, or I don't know yet. I don't know. But it's definitely interesting. Why do we always see it? And some people don't see ones; they see like threes or fours all the time. Now there have been days when I'll see a different number a lot, like 222. I'll see that for like a day or two, and the ones seem not to be there important. But the majority of the time, it's all usually the ones. But I will nowadays. I don't. I look for the numbers when things happen. Like if it's maybe 10 minutes after 12, I'll add all the numbers up, like 1 plus 2 plus 1 plus 2. And then that number will become the important number, and not um, the angel sequences or whatever. I look at a broader view of numbers now, because I'm convinced that math plays a big part in our whole um, illusion that we're living in right
Everything is
now.
math. Everything is math.
Right? Yeah, it has to be, and that's why Tesla said 3, 6, and 9. If you could learn what those mean, you can discover the secrets of the universe. I believe that wholeheartedly. I mean, so yeah. Okay, so let's jump to ayahuasca. What made you decide to want to do that, and where did you go,
Oh,
and how did that all happen?
okay. So I had a dream with I had a dream first a month before I met my friend, and in the dream, uh, it it was like I was riding a horse in a pasture, and it was really a beautiful place, really happy, extreme happiness. Emotions were super elevated in the dream. And then when I was going back home, so I left the horse in the pasture. I went, I was going back, and in the US, we don't have it here. In the US, there were like huge doors, the pasture. I don't know what you call them, but they're wooden, it's like to close uh the horse's what's this enclosure. We don't really have it here, but in my dream, I saw that. So the horse started following me, but when he crossed the doorway, it turned into a boy who was like around 18 to 20-year old.
Wow.
Yeah.
Now, how long after was it after when you drank it that
Uh,
these visions started happening, or these
this was not
experiences?
this wasn't like ayahuasca yet. This
Oh,
was the dream on why
okay. This
I
is just a
wanted to
dream.
do.
Oh,
Yeah.
gotcha. Okay, sorry. Okay, now I understand. Okay. So you had a dream that. Okay, continue. Sorry.
Yeah.
Disregard.
So
Don't pay attention to me.
when when I looked at the boy from afar, I did not recognize him, and he was calling me with his gaze. So I went there, I went closer, and I was looking at him. And this teenager, I didn't really know him. And then we were just like, I was like talking to him with my mind. I was like, who the heck are you? And he was like staring at me, and he's like, you don't really remember, And we were talking in our minds. And then when I finally like recognized that it was my friend, because I already met the guy in my workplace, and the dream was so random. I recognized that it was him, like a 20-year-old version of him,
Wow.
like 10 years younger. Yeah. And when I found out that when I recognized him, I was like, oh my God, why are you in my dream? I said, and then,
that's wild.
yeah, that was so wild. I was like, oh my God, is that really you? And then he was like smiling, and I'm like, oh my God, you remember me now? Holy crap, you remember, right? You know me now. But that was all telepathic. And then
Mm-hmm.
I felt I felt his emotions from my feet crawling upward to my heart. And then all the feelings I felt was like he loved me very, very much. And then all the downloads came in, like the messages, like who he is, what we are, everything.
Right.
Yeah. And then I did not comprehend. I was like looking at him because that time when I met him in the 3D, he was already married.
Hmm.
And I was like, why?
Yeah. Why am I? Yeah.
Yeah.
What is the purpose of you
Yeah.
coming into my dreams?
So I was so shocked because it was such a random dream. So it was like a premonition that we will be meeting again a month after.
You
And
mean, yeah, like in other lives?
no, here in the 3D. There was
Oh,
a
in
dream.
3D. Oh, okay.
So a month later, we met in person again because I already
Wow.
knew him at that time.
Yeah. How did
Then,
that go? And you said he was married, right?
yeah, um, I didn't take it seriously at first. I thought, like, I didn't think of anything. We were just friends. It was platonic. And then everything started opening up, like synchronicities. So when we met that day,
Mm-hmm.
synchronicities started coming. Like we
Mm-hmm.
wear the same clothes, we have the same habits, everything the same.
Wow.
Yeah, even the numbers, it was crazy.
Do you
It's
think
a lot.
maybe yeah you might have been like brother and sister, or in a
Oh,
kind of in other lives maybe, or something like
oh.
that, or
Well, what I eventually got, like, right now, what I know is that we've been many things. We've been brothers and sisters, best friends, husband and wife,
wow.
everything. siblings.
So you've been able to figure all this out as of right now, up till now.
It was a long journey until I got to that. But what I got was that what we like the most, the form that we like the most is partners, like male and female.
Yeah.
So this is the form that we like to come in the most, like husband and wife or lovers, because
Wow.
that's how we work really well. Yeah.
Wow. That's wild. So, okay, so what about that experience made you want to do the ayahuasca thing?
Okay, so I was trying to find out why, like, oh,
Right.
now,
Yeah, what is the true meaning of this? Right?
yeah, yeah, because I'm also married right now. What we also found out is that our lives were so parallel in a way that when I leave one place, he would be there a month later. Then when like the same studio, the same school, the same country, I would leave this studio. A month later, he would come. Then I would go to the next place. A month later, when I leave that place, a month later, he would come. It's always like a chase. And
Right.
so, boom, we're in the same place. And then, so I was trying to find out why this has to happen because it's so painful. I had a lot of epiphanies through that journey of finding out why we
Huh.
met.
Wow. Wow. Okay. So that's what made you want to do this ayahuasca. So
Yeah.
take us to the first experience. Where did you go? How did you even know about it? Like how did you
Yeah.
find out about it?
So the first thing I got is it could be a story for another time. I went to a QHHT.
Okay,
I had
that's
regretted.
that's
Yeah.
the Dolores.
Yeah. Dolores Can's student. Yeah.
Right. Gotcha. Okay.
So we did it online, and it's quite a long story for another time. So what happened was, I saw us like came from a single blue white fire. Um,
That's where you remember like your soul being born or something.
yeah, we split from a bluish white sun or fire. It's
Wow.
it's like metaphor. Yeah.
Right. Of course. I've never heard of that visual before. That's interesting.
Mhm.
So you were not born by fire. You were forged by fire, forged by the blue fire.
Yeah. So what I found out there is we just come into Earth when we're needed. There were gaps, huge gaps where we don't incarnate on Earth. And he's quite advanced, but he rarely becomes human. It's mostly me. So
Really?
yeah.
Now
Because
this is the person we were talking about a minute ago.
yeah.
Oh, okay. So you seem to come here more on Earth to Earth more than he
More.
does.
Yeah. Then
Why do you think
um
that is? Do you have any insight to why? Maybe.
I had not had the answers for that yet.
Ah, well, let us know when you do. That's interesting. That's another new thing that I've never heard before. Okay, cool. Now, okay.
So after that, like I told my guides, like my higher self, like this is BS. I feel like I'm just
Ah,
picking this up. Yeah. I
right.
also yeah, I found something like so what my higher self did was my focus was on my one of my past lives, not on my soulmate. Okay. It was like telling me that this is your focus, your past life, because this past life affects your life now. This other soulmate of yours, I'll get to that later. That's what he
Okay.
told me.
Okay.
Yeah. So
Take your time.
I told my higher self, like, this is BS. Could you give me another modality that my brain would understand? Like, I don't buy this QHHT. And then within that week, I keep seeing 1111s, like
Mm-hmm.
on YouTube, on social media, everywhere. And
Yeah.
then like that same week, like around Friday, my husband's friend invited us to dinner.
Now
And
you're currently married in this life.
yeah,
Okay, gotcha.
and then when he invited us to dinner, and he was actually going to invite us to ayahuasca. So when he mentioned ayahuasca, I jumped on it. I was like, yeah, I'm gonna do that for sure. I was so surprised. Um, and then I also had the Reiki word repeating a lot to me. And then I was very surprised that we had ayahuasca in Philippines because this is very rare opportunity. So I was really shocked. And then he said like our shaman is a Reiki practitioner. That's like a second confirmation because I keep seeing
Mm.
once and the word Reiki. And then when I asked him like how much is the ceremony, he said 11,111. And I was like,
No
oh
way.
yeah.
That's cool.
Mhm. So yeah, so I was like, okay, so this is where you're leading me. That's what I told the collective or my higher self. And then when I did the ayahuasca, my intention was to meet the collective that was sending me messages because I did not understand what's happening. And I
Right.
said, I want to know what this person is in my life. But in the first ayahuasca that I had, I did not see what this person is like in my past life because my guide keep telling me that this is not the information that we need to focus on now. They keep on doing
Ah.
that. Yeah.
Yeah, you're getting off on a side tangent. Get
Yeah.
back on track.
Yeah.
Now, did you do ayahuasca were you in the Philippines or
Yeah. Mhm.
okay, gotcha.
So it was in the Philippines. And then what happened was that it became my initiation. So what happened was whatever sense sensitivities that I was having when I met this guy, it really opened up like 200%. Like
Wow.
super, yeah.
What's the first how long did it take from the time you drank it until you started realizing things or seeing things?
Um,
Like a half an hour or hour or
it
I'm just
was
curious
like
because I've never done it, and
it was like around 30 to 45 minutes
oh wow.
around that time. Yeah,
Now,
that long.
did you throw up like I see, like I've seen on documentaries, like
I
do, or do you,
there
do you
was
did you vomit?
there was this strange part of all the journeys I had. I never threw up. I was it was
Wow.
a very easy journey. The first one was not easy because it was the first time that I saw the spirit world. And it's the first time that I saw like the parallel dimension or how our dimension looks like in the spirit world.
Uh huh.
And it was vibrating and I saw my skin and my
Yeah, I
clothes being
remember. You
very
told us this the other night in one of the chat groups. Yeah, I remember this. That was amazing. But I want you to tell because a lot of a lot of our viewers didn't hear that or hear you say that. So go ahead and say
yeah,
what
so
say what you saw.
there were two things. There were two journeys that I had. The first one was I will cut this short because it's quite long. So the first one is I saw constellations on 4K, and they were like, imagine it's on a plate or on a disc, and it's like um rotating clockwise. And then when I zoom out, there was Buddha, and he's orange, like kind of like
Mm.
orange. And then I acknowledged him. It was like a statue from afar. And then when I acknowledged him, like I said, I see you in my mind. There was a halo that came up from behind his head, but it was like full of words. I'm not I'm not sure what kind of language it is, but it turned into a flat disc, like a
Hmm.
halo. Then it started rotating
Hmm.
counterclockwise.
Wow.
Then it aligned to the sky. Then the sky uh rotated clockwise. It was like two discs rotating on opposite
So
directions. They were aligned.
the whole sky was rotating, like
Yeah.
was
It
it
was
was it counterclockwise, clockwise? Do you remember that?
it was rotating clockwise, and then Buddha's halo was rotating counterclockwise.
Interesting.
So
Now, if it was clockwise, that would be a magnetic field, I would think, and counterclockwise would have been something that I don't know what it is. I call it gravity, but Samba says it's something else. And you told me gravity doesn't exist too, right?
it wasn't me.
That wasn't you. Yeah, Samba says gravity doesn't exist, but we haven't had a conversation about that yet. But anyway, go ahead. Sorry. I'm just trying to put all your experiences and my experiences together, just to see if I can piece some puzzle pieces together.
Yeah. So when after that happened, I zoomed out again, and then there was like a mausoleum, like some brick houses that we usually see, like it's built of stone, then it has pillars, the typical brick houses from way back when,
Mm.
and then it was giant, and then inside was like a stone bowl, and then there was like a fire, and it was like a giant ball of fire that's orange, like Buddha. And then this giant flame told me to come in. Then he was inviting me to his house, and I said no, I'm not worthy, so I just stayed on the door.
Aw.
Wow.
So yeah, come to find out that that was actually Metatron inviting me to,
Megatron that's an angel, right?
yeah, Metatron, yeah,
Metatron,
Archangel.
Archangel.
So he
Okay.
comes up several times after.
We have about 3 minutes left in this Zoom meeting.
I
Oh
know.
gosh.
Okay. Yeah. So. Okay. So when it ends, Jen, just come back in. I'll start a new stream.
Yeah,
Okay. Yeah.
we don't really have a line to get in at this point, so I think we're good to go.
All right.
Yeah.
Go.
So do we cut off from here, or should we? Are we just
Yeah. I'll tell you what. I'll go ahead and hang up and start a new one. Hang on.
okay.
I'm still looking at this river of yellow wax on my monitor. Okay, we are connected. Is everybody awake in the audience still? Oh, there's Ivan, and I know Samba is. You. There we go. All right, Jen, we have you back, and Jafro, you're back in. All right. So take us where you take us where you left off on the disc. You saw a halo type of disc spinning
So
counterclockwise.
yeah, I never had the message of why I saw that, but that was my first journey. After I saw the fire that was Metatron, I heard the practitioner, the facilitator, said something like, "Oh, an angel is coming. When spirit comes, welcome it." And then in my vision, I saw in the sky a falling star, a shooting star, the street. And in my head, it was like, oh, so that's an angel coming to watch the ceremony. So then
Wow.
I had like a second journey. Then that's when I saw that light beam. It was actually a light beam.
Well, how did the first one end?
It was like a meditation, like you're in the middle of sleep. And then when it ended, I woke up. It was like, oh, okay, that's it.
So you kind of fell asleep during the experience at some point.
It was like no, I didn't fall asleep. It was like I was between sleep and wake,
Okay,
that
so you were like in that, just like when you astral project, you're right in that. Now, do you think you were in a trance at that point, like a chemically induced trance in this case?
yeah, it was like a trance because I could still hear people. Then I'm in this space.
Ah, okay,
Mhm.
interesting. Yeah, because
Um,
I've been in the hypnagogic trance, of course, but I don't think I've ever been in a chemically induced one. So that's interesting.
yeah. So what happened was that the practitioner saw me and he said, "I'm gonna give you another one." And I was like,
Wow.
"Okay." Yeah, because the first one was pretty light. And then when he gave me the second one, it tastes like it has shrooms in it. So uh when I took that,
Oh
I was
wow.
knocked out. Yeah, I
Woo.
was knocked out.
Wow.
And that was very deep. The second one was totally crazy. It was a doorway. What happened with the second one? This was the time that actually activated uh the aura thing, the how you see colors,
Mm-hmm.
because it was my first time. Whenever my eyes were closed, but I can see what's happening outside. I was like, holy crap! And I was awake when that was happening. I was right here in 3D in the now, and my eyes were closed. And
Wow.
then while my eyes were closed, I saw colors dancing around. I saw like this spirits, but spirits, how I perceive them are balls of color and silhouettes of color.
Wow. How far away were these balls of color or spirits from you? Like, were they way off in the distance or very near
They,
you?
they were like, so we were in a gazebo, and this is where the ceremony was taking place. And it was as if uh, these spirits were in the gazebo with us. They were like dancing with the facilitators. They were going around us. So they were participating in the ceremony, you know. But it was extremely, extremely happy feeling. I can't describe it. I was like, oh my goodness, this feels so good. And yeah, it was extremely happy. And then it was the first time that I can hear them. Like there were like actual people like us, and they were talking. It's like a fiesta or a party.
Oh, a big party. Now,
Yeah.
were you talking telepathically during this experience, or could you audibly hear everything?
uh, I was hearing it audibly, like while the facilitators were singing. There was this like there were more people laughing and dancing and singing with the facilitators. Literally, it was like that.
Wow. So So you had more people around you than in the physical form, I guess you could say.
Mhm.
So the spiritual forms, did they ever manifest into like a shape of a body, or did they always stay as a ball of light or colors?
It was so blurry for me. In my own senses, they were blurry. It's as if you have like very blurry, very bad eyesight. When you lost your glasses, that's how it
Oh
feels
no.
like for me.
Right. Okay. Gotcha.
So,
Is it always like that on all three of your experiences?
what I discovered was that since the ayahuasca journey, at first when my body was starting to adjust, at first they were very blurry, and then eventually, like months later, they started to have form, and then until you could actually see them 4K, something like that, if that makes sense.
Wow. 4K. I
Yeah,
like
like
it.
very solid.
Is there a 5K yet? Whatever happened to 2K and 3K? It seems like we went from like high definition, right? Jump right to 4K. But we never had a 2K or 3K, or did we? Or maybe I just
We
was
have
out
2K.
out of the loop. That's funny. I sometimes I think all this stuff is just money making opportunities. You know, I can't tell the difference between high definition and 4K or whatever. I don't know. But anyway, okay. So your second experience, you saw all these spirits in color form. What about the third experience?
Um,
And how long apart were these experiences?
it was like a month apart when I took the plant medicine. The with this experience where I saw these spirits, I also saw like a light being. Um, it
Hmm.
was a female. It was shaped like a female, but it was like the sun. You know, when you look at the sun on the sky, it's
Mm-hmm.
round and it has like yellow rays on the side.
Ah.
And but this one, instead of a round center, it's shaped like a female form on my left side. It's always on the left when this
Wow.
yellow beings appear. This is what I
Did you discover
thought.
they who that was to you at all, or
Uh,
did that being try to communicate with you at all?
she was watching my opening. So what I felt like was she came in to watch me open up. That's what I felt because what happened was that um when I tried to open my eyes because I started hearing some moaning to my left side. And then I heard someone, it's not really a voice, but a feeling telling me, no, don't go, don't get out. Like stay in your space. Stay in your space. It keeps telling me that. And I did not listen because
Uh-oh.
I felt the fear, and then it brought me out of my trance when I heard the moaning. And then when I opened my eyes, that's when I saw that I was in the spirit plane while my eyes is open. So everything was super blurred and all the lights were suspended, when the movements, all movements were like frame by frame, it was suspended in the air. And then there were like geometries around me, around in thin air. And then my skin was rearranging itself. It's tough. Yeah, it's
Wow,
rearranging. Yeah.
that's wild.
Yeah.
So
That was scary. That was so scary. I regretted doing ayahuasca the first time because I was so afraid.
Mm.
Yeah.
remember you got to get rid of your fears
Yeah.
eventually. Now,
Yeah.
so are you still afraid to see those kind of things?
No, the second one was totally different. Well, what happened with the first one was I saw my own light coming out from my forehead, which is yellow. So I started like accepting that, oh, okay, I didn't know I was like this sensitive. Then it was quite a long story. So that whole uh first ayahuasca was me experiencing everyone's feelings, everyone's emotions, even the spirits, all their thoughts. Like you were opened up and then there was no filter. So it was very overwhelming. Even the smell was amplified. Like let's say salad smelled like coffee. It was super amplified.
Whoa.
Wow, smelled like coffee. I love
Yeah.
I love the smell of coffee, especially like if it's cold outside and you're brewing a nice fresh pot of coffee in the morning. That smell is awesome.
Also found out that that's when I found out also that there were different dimensions around us, like peeking through our dimension. They were like interlaced or something,
Yeah, I
like mesh.
remember I said it was like electric honey, right?
Yeah.
Electric honey is how I describe it now.
So yeah, there were a couple of people who were throwing up. They looked like they were possessed because they looked like they were asleep, but they were moving around, trashing, moaning, and there were like
Wow.
spirits around them, holding them down, praying over them. Then there were also the actual practitioners who were doing that. And I saw that, I was like, oh my God. And I actually thought I was hallucinating. So what I
Wow.
did was they took me back to the house so I could like recuperate or something because I'm getting overwhelmed by the emotions there. And I took my phone out. When I opened my phone, my messages, like the apps, was like 111 and 444. So I was like, okay, so I'm not hallucinating. Like 444 messages on Viber, and then 111 on, I don't know, YouTube, So it's like, holy crap, I'm not
Hmm.
hallucinating.
Wow.
That was crazy, really.
That is. Wow, that's an experience and a half. Now, so I'm taking it you never found answers why you did ayahuasca in the first place, right?
Oh, what I found out is that spirit just led me to what I was supposed to open up. I was supposed to be an antenna of sorts. Because after that, there's a lot of stuff that I was able to do, like modalities, being a healer, or manipulating energy with your hands, something like
Right.
that.
Oh, wow. That's
So
interesting. Yeah,
yes,
I want to hear about those superpowers you have now.
Definitely.
but I think it's like most people have it too, but that time there was just a lot of things that opened up. I started seeing colors. I started being able to read through items, like psychometry or whatever you call it. And then I was able to feel energy from crystals, or feel people's emotions through my
Right.
ear, from my
Yeah,
ear.
that's the one thing that got heightened in me after my near-death experience was I started feeling people's souls. I call it. I don't, for lack of a better term. Yeah, even it doesn't. I don't have to be in person with them. I just feel. I feel their soul. That's why when all you came over from, those of you who found this channel via the Jeff Mara podcast, and whenever you came over at first, I was feeling everybody's soul all at once. It was very overwhelming to me. But then I kind of learned how to dial it down a little bit, and so I could breathe.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's been incredible. So I know exactly what you mean with that superpower. And now that's actually escalated to a whole nother level for me. Like, um, now I just get these epiphanies all day long. These light bulbs that come on, and I'm like, oh my god, where did that come from? And I've actually shot a few videos that you guys haven't seen yet on my epiphanies, and I just got so much to edit right now. But I'm learning. I'm learning how to use DaVinci Resolve right now, and I'm getting pretty dangerous. So there's going to be a lot of content coming out at once. um, now that I've figured out how to use it, and I appreciate everybody's patience while I've been doing that. But yeah, that's cool. So you got all these abilities that started these switches. That's a good term to use. I call them switches too because I believe we all have these switches, and there's various ways to turn them on. Like in my case, when I was astral projecting, some of them came on, or some of them got flipped. When I had my near-death experience, some of them got flipped too, and now I'm just learning how to use them. And Spirit Deer she's one, and I'm sure Samba is gonna work with me to hone those skills. Because I've had it all my life. I just didn't know how to use them like properly. It's basically listening to your intuition is part of it. I mean, really listening, not just like, oh, actually looking and drilling down inside yourself, figuring out where do these ideas and thoughts come from. Like when you start doing that and you pay attention to your surroundings, it's like, and especially now that I'm around all of your energy every day, it's like it's causing everything to just get really heightened for me. Love, that's right, Samba. Love is where it's at. I'm telling you, I feel my heart's getting ready to like just explode sometimes. But yeah, that really helps amplify your abilities too. Have you noticed that too, Jen? Like
Yeah.
the more love and happiness you have in your heart, like
Yes.
the more these abilities get like hyper inflated or whatever you
There
want to
was
call it.
the activation that this soulmate did to me when that happened, because that's when I realized when I met him that heaven was not really a place, but um it's within us, you know, it's a state of mind. And then if you're able to hold it, everything just opens up because of your heart space expanding. That's what I felt. But you have to balance yourself once it opens up, because there's a phase in my opening up that people start coming in, and they don't know this, but they start coming in and they start draining you. And then this is my journey. So what happens was, like, I started to learn to discern, like, if I have to cut myself from some people or protect my energy. So it comes with that, protecting yourself, putting yourself first. Because at first I did not believe myself. It was also part of my karma in my past life. And this is why my past life was, my QHHT was about my past life and not my soulmate, because it was telling me that I did not trust myself because of the suppressions that I had. It was the common theme in my life: suppression, persecution.
Mm.
It was all connected. It started like opening up as I go, and then I started connecting the dots, and then forming a bigger picture of why I was here, what my life was.
Yeah. Now, how long ago was your last experience? Like from now?
From
Like,
ayahuasca.
yeah.
Oh, my last experience was June last year, around that time.
Oh, just this past year.
Yeah,
Okay,
this is
so it's not even been like, it's been like 7 months or
yeah.
something like that. Wow. So it's still pretty fresh in your mind now. It's still now now that you're around your new family here, how is that how are all these switches that came on, have they become even more powerful now to you? Like me, I feel like I my my abilities to see and feel things have just gone through the roof, like since I've been around all this much love and energy.
For me, yeah, it happened when I met my ayahuasca family. That was the first. I started having telepathic communication with some of them.
Really?
And yeah, but it was specific people. And then
Wow.
we were calling each other when we meditate. So there was this one girl, and we feel like we were sisters. And then
Huh.
whenever we meditate and my eyes closed, I would see her face pop up, and it's like, "Hey, Jen." And then I would pop out of my meditation and message her. I was like, "Did you just call me?" And it was like 2 a.m. And she would reply, "Yeah, I was meditating." So we do that.
Wow. So you still, even after the experience, you do this, even
Yeah,
now.
yeah. So
That's cool.
yeah, what happened was, like, while I'm in this journey, these people who did ayahuasca with me are also opening up along with me. So
Mm.
we kind of test things out as we go.
So you still keep in touch with most of the people that you were with under
Yeah,
under the gazebo that last time?
yeah. We were still in touch up until now.
Wow, that's cool. You know, even without doing ayahuasca or stuff, like twins experience this all the time. Or like especially like if you're a mother, you might sense that one of your kids is in trouble. That kind of thing. That that's real. We see it every day. So that just shows you how we're just connected like that. It doesn't. You don't have to have a near-death experience necessarily, or drink ayahuasca to have those kind of abilities. They just sort of seem to already be there, and we just forgot how to use it, you know. And that's how I think, anyway. I think everybody has these abilities, and they just haven't opened them up yet for whatever reason. They haven't. Um, they haven't been in the right place at the right time for it to happen. But I think everybody will remember how to do this eventually. I think that'll happen one day. It just takes some people longer, to find that experience. But well, thank you for sharing that with us, Jen.
Yeah, thank
That
you.
is awesome. And uh, we have somebody else coming in. Let's see who this is. We have, is that more G Power? Or is it Moto G Power? Wait, hang on. I can't read that. I just realized I don't have my glasses on, but I can see everything pretty good still. So, um, is it more G Power? Can you hear me? No, I just see you. I accepted this other person, but I don't know where they are.
Well, we could open it up to anybody who wants to just
Yeah, would anybody else like to
chat.
come in here? And that'll probably be our last person
Oh,
for
there's
tonight.
Moto G.
Moto G. Oh, Moto G, can you hear me? Is your mic on? Where do you see Moto G? Okay. Yeah, Jen, that was so awesome. Um, Anybody else want to say hi to everybody and share an experience you've had? Jafra, where are you seeing them?
Right below my window.
Hello, someone there?
There you go.
Oh, there's Moto G Power. Hello.
Well, I'm not sure. I don't see a screen where I see my name or anything on there, but I guess I got
I
through.
do. Yeah, you're through.
I'm,
How are you? I don't know you by this name. Are you in our Facebook group at all?
yes, I'm in your Facebook group, and I just put a post on there in the last half an hour or so. It's Tawny Taylor, and
Tawny
also
Taylor. Okay.
in your channel on here, it's the one that says TT Cutie Pie. So I've watched
Oh,
and listened
okay.
to some of your shows.
Oh, awesome.
I saw your picture that you posted, and it looks very similar to one that Mark posted in his regular Facebook page. It's got that sunset with that dark dark land shape kind of running through the middle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, no, that Ivan has that too. That's how
Yeah.
when we first met.
Oh, that's interesting.
So okay, now I'm really interested in you because
Yeah, I always called that one sunshine on my shoulder.
So where are you from?
I'm in Idaho.
Idaho. So when I just said Idaho a minute ago, you were probably like, "Whoa, you just said where I'm from."
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, Idaho. Another thing that's been going on is that case of those 4 students that
Yeah, I've been keeping up on that. That's
yeah, isn't that wild?
pretty horrific.
I know. And now we have to wait till July before just the first hearing of that case.
Right. Yeah.
So tell us who you are and what do you
Well,
want to share with us tonight?
I'm a grandma, and I'm living with my daughter and grandson right now. I worked as my career as an EMT and a firefighter, and
Oh wow.
probably have some astonishing stories
I
for other
bet.
people's end of lives. I did that for 21 years.
Ooh.
And so I, got really connected with, I guess, spiritual things. And then I got
I
sick
bet.
with autoimmune illnesses that have really
Oh man.
devastated me. And before they got too bad, I think, in circumstances where you are losing your health and you're spending more time alone and you're not on a schedule of having to go to work and provide for the family and take care of kids, then you have the opportunity to become more introspective and take on a more spiritual journey when you're trying to figure out what's going on and how to fix yourself.
Yeah.
That's been going on for quite some time, for several years, and it's gotten worse lately.
Oh
And
no.
so I guess, I watched the Jeff Mar podcast quite a bit because it feels like I had more spiritual gifts and a better spiritual connection when I was healthier. And although I have more time to, contemplate and research and read and listen to podcasts, it just kind of feels like I don't know, that my spirituality has dwindled, and maybe it's just the illness and pain.
Well,
I'm
you
not
came
sure
to
what it is, but
you came to the
I'm
right
really
place.
trying to get it back.
Yeah.
You definitely came to the right place. Let me tell you, we're gonna boost that energy. We're gonna get it back.
I hope so.
Of
Well, you
course.
talked tonight about some of the quantum healing hypnosis sessions, and I've had that done, and I
Oh
have
wow.
memory of about 7 past lives.
Wow.
But and they're pretty astonishing. But also, I mean, when I heard you on the Jeff Mara podcast, I was really interested when you first touched on and didn't go into so much about the astral projection, because I left my body one time when I was in 5th grade, a very, very vivid experience. And then a few years ago, just a couple years ago, I did it again. And I thought if I could have done it twice unintentionally, then certainly I ought to be able to do it intentionally.
Oh my goodness, yes.
Yeah.
Look, I've proven
You would
not only
think.
you can do it, but I can do it. But when you have your first experience, like as you know, it was so profound that you probably wouldn't have wanted to do it again for a while.
But I can remember every second of it.
Right.
It's so vividly.
You do.
Yeah.
Because that's a lot of people in the last few weeks have asked me, what's the difference between a lucid dream and astral projection? And that's the difference. The difference is you're not dreaming at all. It's real.
No, everything is vivid and crisp and
Yep.
clear.
Yep.
And it's it's such an astonishing thing, you never forget it.
No, because you're wide awake. That's the difference.
Yes, wide awake. Yeah.
So have you watched my our 2 live streams on astral projection yet?
Yes, I have watched them, and and before I even heard you on the Jeff Mara podcast, I'm not usually one to make New Year's resolutions, but the first of the year, not really a resolution, but I decided every night when I go to sleep, I'm gonna put on some kind of hypnosis or music, to
Yeah.
try and do an astral projection
Yeah.
on my headphones.
That'll
And so,
that'll get your superpowers
yeah, that's
flowing
what I
again.
thought. Like, I did this before, I can do it again.
Yeah.
So up until it was just right after I heard your first podcast. So I did have one experience, but I kind of chickened out.
I remember
I
I
did
said
jump.
number one problem is fear.
Yes, and so
Yeah, that's the
can
number
I
one
tell you
problem.
what happened?
Yeah,
Okay, so
please.
I think I had music on, and usually I can get to a state where it's easy for me to empty my mind and have just a quiet meditation, type of attitude. And then usually once I can get into that zone, then I'll start seeing colors. Colors will start kind of
Mm-hmm.
coming at me in waves of color and sheets of color.
Do you see those little stars? I call them stars or dots.
Sometimes that would be what would come next.
Right.
So if I can get to the color stage where they start swirling and kind of coming at me
Mm-hmm.
and getting brighter and fading out, then the next step would be kind of the dots, kind of getting through that phase. So I got through that phase, and I kind of got to this, and it's dots, but you also kind of feel it. It's kind of sparkly. It's kind of a different feeling, maybe kind of
Mm-hmm.
up a little bit. You feel like
you get excited.
a little bit.
I get
Yeah.
excited. I remember when I first.
Something different is happening.
Yes, you do. You feel like, and that's at the point where you're wide awake, and you're not tired anymore. You're not sleepy anymore.
No, right,
Yeah.
right. And so that started to happen, and then some visuals started to come into my field of vision, and it was this is these
You got to
visuals
ignore
started
those. You
coming,
got to ignore those.
and they were
I know they're
like
cool, but you gotta ignore 'em.
icons of just little faces, and they were like like emojis and little characters you might see in anime, a little anime like Hello
Yeah,
Kitty,
right.
and like some numbers thrown in.
Those are
And
all
some of them
distractions.
were alive. Some of them were alive, and they were all on a big sheet, like you would look at like Tattoo Flash. Like they're all evenly spaced apart, and all these images, they were coming at me, and then they were wanting me to come at them at the same rate. Like they were pulling me, and I was like, ooh. I'm not gonna leave if I do this, I'm not gonna be in my bedroom anymore. I'm not gonna be looking at my body. I don't know where the alive emojis are gonna take me. And so I hesitated, and then I kind of drew back from them, and then in a flashlight they were gone.
Yeah, exactly.
I got too scared to go to Emoji Land. I didn't know what was
Emoji Land.
I don't blame you. Oh.
Now, did you hear any of the proverbial things most people hear, like knocks on the door, bells ringing, anything like that?
I heard knocks. I heard knocks on the door.
Yeah, that's the most common. That's number one.
Before that happened, and it was a little bit startling because I have a bedroom with a door to the outside, and so it was from, a door knock to the outside. And so when you mentioned that was kind of reassuring that could be part of it.
Yeah, I try to think of everything I've heard of or experienced, because I know when I first heard the knock on the door, it was like 3 a.m, and I was like, there's no way anybody's at the door. And then I read later on, that's what everybody hears, is this knocking. I mean, it sounds like the police are at your door. That's how, like...
Yeah, 3 knocks. It was 3 knocks.
Yeah, it's like bam, bam, bam. I mean, you'll swear there's somebody there, but you cannot move. It's all your brain just playing tricks on you.
Yeah.
I know, it's wild how that works, but that's cool. So you've had, how long ago was your last experience you had, and what happened during it?
Well, I'll tell you the very first one that happened. I was in fifth grade. I was sleeping on a top bunk, and I just woke up in the middle of the night and up above my body, above the bunk. And so I was looking at myself.
Wow.
And I kind of looked up, and I could see through the roof to the stars. And so I thought, well, that's kind of cool. So I just kept going. I went up above. I went above our yard. I could see all the tops of the trees, and there was a water tower near our house. So I went up higher so I could see the top of the water tower and how everything looked just so amazing from the top side.
Yeah.
And so I traveled down this road. I lived up by Seattle at the time. So I was traveling down this road that eventually would lead to the ferry docks. And just above, I could see the traffic. I could see street lights. I could see a little lake that I went by. And then I had got to this area that dropped down a hill just before you got to the ferry dock. And there weren't hardly any houses there. It was like a sand and gravel. And at the time, there wasn't much of it that had been developed. And
Right.
so I got scared when I got there because it got dark. So I couldn't see the road below me very well because of the darkness. And so I thought, oh, I'm a little bit scared. I should probably turn around and go back. So I turned around. I made the reverse trip like 10 times faster than I made the original trip. I remember I just thought about going back to my body and I zipped over the same route. And then I got about almost to my house and I thought, I better hurry as fast as I can because if my mom and dad catch me out of my body, I'm going to get in trouble.
Wow.
And
That's
I
awesome.
didn't think about how to get back in it. I just dove like head first.
Yeah,
into a swimming
all you
pool.
got to do is think about your body and you'll be
Yeah,
right back
I
in.
just dove into it head
But you didn't
first.
understand that in 5th grade, of course. You didn't
No,
know
it
all
just
this stuff.
it all seemed natural though.
Right.
You
That's
know,
so funny.
I just came back and dove back in so I wouldn't get in trouble.
Hey, that was a really fast 40 minutes, but there's about 2 minutes left in this window.
Okay,
Okay.
come back in. We're not
Please
not
come
finished.
back.
This will be our last session, but you come back. I'm gonna end it right now, and just come back in the
Okay,
way
so
you
go
came
back
in.
to the Zoom.
Yeah,
the
yeah,
Zoom
yeah,
lobby.
yeah, yep.
Okay.
Okay, I'm gonna end
Thank
it. Hang
you.
on.
Okay.
Yeah, one day I'll be able to afford to get a license for this thing.
It won't be long. It's
All right.
coming.
I know it's coming. Yeah. Okay, here we go. Okay, we have a session. Okay, there's J Fro. This has been a very interesting session tonight. Okay, we're still waiting. Yeah, isn't it, Ivan? I forgot to ask her. Did she tell us her name?
Tawny.
Bonnie?
Tawny.
Tawny. That's right, Tawny. I'll have to go look at her post and Ivan, go look at her post. Tell me
Yeah,
if
the picture.
Tell me if that looks like your the same as our photos. I'm still can't get over that. That was wild. Oh, here she comes. Tawny. You are live, Tawny, again. I gotta. J-Fro, you think you could rush me some water out here when you get a chance?
Oh yeah, no sweat.
I forgot my water totally tonight. Yeah, Ivan, your turn is coming on our next one. I want to have these more than not, these sessions at nighttime around the fire. Because I think it's important that we all get to know each other. Tawny, I still can't hear you yet. I don't know why. Ah, there we go.
Hello?
Hey, there you are.
Okay, I got it figured out.
Tawny's back.
All right.
So,
Okay, I'll tell you about the other time when it happened when it was just a few years ago. I was probably at the time, I don't do it now, but I think I was smoked pot or did edibles. And so I fell asleep and I was just really relaxed. I was super relaxed and fell into a really good sleep. And I lived in a small apartment on the first floor. and I woke up in the night and I just popped out of my body and I looked
Wow.
at it, and I sort of thought I was dead because having these autoimmune illnesses, this was just a couple years ago. I thought, well, gosh, I guess I finally died. And so I kind of went over and out my apartment door. I went through the door. I remember just like a ghost, just right through the door. And then I went down the hallway of my apartment. And then I went down to the receiving area, the lobby area of my apartment building. And you could leave the building on either side at two exits. And I just kind of hovered there. And then I thought to myself, I wonder if I'm dead. Where's my grandma's? Where's the white light? Where's Jesus? Where's
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 she
the
right?
tunnel? Where's all
Right.
that stuff that people talk about?
Exactly.
Somebody somewhere,
I
something
know.
ought to be going on.
Why don't
I,
some of us experience that? Like, I didn't experience. Well, I think mine was more profound than I was meant to see what I was meant to see. I think we all are in that sort.
yeah. I didn't see anything at all, and no one was awake. It was in the middle of the night. So I turned around. I thought, well, I better go back and investigate to see if I'm dead or not. And so
Right.
I go back down the hallway, and I get to my body, and I just jump back in it. And I wasn't dead.
That's awesome. I know. It's
So
so
nothing really happened other than I left my body. So,
right.
I'm sure things happen, and I'm sure there's a way to get somewhere more interesting and learn something
Of
perhaps of
course.
value in my life. And so I thoroughly believe that I should be able to do it again.
Absolutely. Yeah,
Yeah, on
you
demand.
do. You do it already. We all do it every night. We just don't remember we do it.
Yeah.
It's very common. I mean, but once you set your intention, this is something I myself have to get under control. Is your intention that is very important, because that's how you do go places. You just
Yeah, and I'm not
think
sure of that.
about
I
it.
think my ultimate intention would be to connect with some loved ones that passed on. My
Yeah.
mom and my brother both passed
Mhm.
away last year,
Oh
and I
man.
would love to set the intention to be able to communicate with them. I don't know if that's appropriate or not.
I don't see why not. However, Spirit Deer, have you met her yet in our group?
No.
Her name is Spirit Deer, or Sandy is her name in
Yeah.
real life. But she lost her daughter like 22 years ago, and she said for a while she was able to meet her in the spirit world doing in that way. But then there came a time when she couldn't, and she thinks
Right.
she thinks that's because she reincarnated, or
Ah,
that part of her
interesting.
reincarnated again.
Yeah.
So just know that could be the case if you never are able to connect with them
Well,
in
and I
that way.
kind of wonder. I mean, my mom was 83 years old when she passed, and I don't feel like there's any kind of unfinished business or unresolved problems we had in our life. So I don't know what an
Well, that's
intention
good.
would be, to for this to be necessary. But my brother, he took his own life, and it was quite
Oh wow.
unexpected. He was my best friend in the world.
Oh man.
And but I kind of wonder at where he is right now due to those circumstances. I think that
Right.
people who leave in that way with maybe mental health or addiction issues, they might not be in the kind of place or maybe you'd call it state of mind where their priority would be to communicate with people that are still here. I think that in my opinion, and I guess what I hope and believe, is that there are people and places that they have opportunities to heal things that that happened here on this earth, and maybe the timing wouldn't be right or something.
Mm.
Might
Yeah.
be
Well,
intrusive
it
to
might
where he
no.
is and what he's trying to accomplish on the other side.
Yeah, I personally have never. I don't recollect or recall anywhere where I've taken my own life. Now, I almost took my life in this illusion. several times because I wanted to be out of pain and suffering.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
but I do know about other people who have and come back, and that is not their experience. Like in church or whatever, they tell you you're going to go to hell and all this stuff. That is not what I've heard happens at all.
No, I wouldn't think that. I would prefer to think that there's just that they maybe have spirit guides or, their guardian angels or ancestors that would help maybe try and teach them and help them through the unprocessed things that cause them to do that, help them understand better.
Yeah. Now, if you talk to Samba when you get a chance, he'll probably give you some more perspective on that. He knows a lot more about that than I do at the moment. But or Spirit Deer, she could tell you. They're two of our spiritual leaders in the group, I guess you could say, and I'm sure they'll give you more insight into that than I can. But
so I guess my question might be, given that I have some hesitation about contacting loved ones, and I'm not sure what kind of intention to set about where I really want to go or need to be. I guess I feel like I have heard other people talk about, but maybe it's a little too presumptive at this early point, to help people that are in, maybe the ghost kind of people that are still attached to this earthly realm that need assistance to see some higher options, to guide them to some higher options. I would feel comfortable to do that kind of thing. But I mean, what kind of intentions should people set?
That's awesome, though.
No, so I used to. I'm telling you, you might have remembered from my Jeff Mara podcast. I used to be a ghost hunter. I used to be a big ghost hunter because I was searching for answers on how that angel disappeared in front of my eyes and helped us. So for years I was on that path for a different reason than you are, but I didn't understand what I knew now. Now I see ghosts and other dimensions in a whole nother light. Like I'm investigating on how this electric honey is all connected to each other, and how deep, how many, or not, the dimensions are endless, but I do think there's major places where there's infinite amount of dimensions. I think there's probably about, as far as I can tell, 7 main levels or worlds, I guess you could call them, where all these dimensions exist. But really, they're all around us. You don't have to go anywhere. You just have to jump to the world. And there's different, and I don't know how to control that yet. As soon as I do, I think we're all going to, I have a feeling our family, this new family that's come together, we're going to figure all this out. And it's going to be amazing, because then we'll be able to do this at will and bring back so many answers for all of humanity.
Tawny, I think it might be interesting to go to a friend's house, someone that you know in real life, like, okay, you know where they live.
Okay.
If you can get out of your body and then you can get out of your house, then go to a friend's house, and then if you hear them speak, try to remember what they say so you can talk to your friend. Hey, I heard you say blah, blah, blah when I was visiting. So you can get some confirmation. And you put this down on there, and you were holding an apple or whatever. That would be so cool, because they know you, and they know that you're not
right. Okay, I like that. That seems simple.
Go to a friend's
on that, and then that would be a good place to start.
Yeah, but if you really want to connect with your lost loved ones, you can do that too. You could just set your intention on that. That's all. You don't have to go anywhere to do that. Wherever they are, that's where you will go, because that's your intention. That's what I need most focus on. I've already identified that. I didn't know this 10 years ago, but now, after all, I've been processing my experiences this whole time. It was my intentions I wasn't really focused on. I was kind of lazy about it, I got all the other mechanics down pat, but that one I sort of just let go by the wayside. But that's the most important one, I think, besides getting rid of your fear, is your setting your intention and focusing on that intention. Because there's so much that goes on, it's going to distract you from your intention. And once you're focused on that, like, okay, so you saw my post about El Capitan, the place in Yosemite, right? You've seen that?
No, I don't think I saw that one.
Oh, okay. So I posted. I think
It's pinned.
it's pinned in our featured section. Go there, you'll see a picture of El Capitan. It's like this peak in Yosemite National Park.
Yosemite. Yeah.
So this is where I want us all to meet every night or whenever we try it. Maybe we'll do it in stages, because a lot of people are awake when other people are asleep.
Right.
But maybe we'll have like different, like every 4 hours we'll have like a time in the future where we do it or something. Or,
I'll get the next one.
or we'll do it in shifts.
That sounds awesome.
Yeah, so this is and then after we master that one, maybe we'll try meeting at the Great Pyramid or in Ayers Rock or wherever in Arizona. in Australia. So but right now I call it the drop zone.
Okay.
Right now, that's where that's where my intention is, and then from there, once you're out of the body and you go there, then we'll decide where to go from there. Like pick a galaxy or something, or maybe we'll.
Trip, huh?
Yeah, exactly, because your spirit doesn't need sleep. Only our body needs sleep.
Right.
So why waste that opportunity every night? That's what I say. Like, I want to get as much knowledge as I can, and but I haven't done it for the last 10 years because it was such a profound experience, the last one I had, that it still boggles my mind. Like it took me time just to process all that, and I didn't want to do it again because I was still trying to figure this out, this out. Now I'm at the point where I've processed it, and now I understand that so many more things than I did back then. So now I'm ready to start doing it again with you guys. It's no coincidence we all came together when we needed to come together.
Nope.
Right.
It's just, I'm still in amazement. I'm still humbled by all this. And it's nothing like I thought this was going to turn out to be at all. I didn't know this. We had this family reunion coming along with it. I was going to teach ancient languages, and hopefully we help people remember who we are. But it's much bigger than that now. Yeah. And I've just been trying to adapt to this. But we're still going to learn the languages and everything. It got put on hold just for a lot of reasons. But we're going to be doing that here shortly. But it's amazing, and I'm just so happy that we're all connected, and we all came together in a very mysterious way. Like, we've been waiting for this moment, and
it's hard to talk about these kinds of things with most of the people that I know.
I know. Yeah. Yeah, it's like, you're right. I can't even talk about this with my own family. Like,
I couldn't talk about. I can't talk about reincarnation, or there are certain beliefs for people in my family that they won't even entertain a conversation about it, let alone want to hear about what I think in my imagination happened to me. Is how they think of it.
Yeah, and that's one of the reasons why I wanted to create this channel, was to have a safe place for people to come discuss this, but I had no idea of the family aspect, that we all know each other. I swear, everybody that I've met in the last 3 weeks, I have known forever. Like, it just keeps coming. It's like a train that never stops. One after the other, after the other, after the other. People are telling me, Mark, I feel like I've known you for a million years, and just it keeps coming. And it's like, you know, I don't think it's ever going to stop.
Yeah.
It's pretty amazing. You all are not just a bunch of random people that join my channel. It's like
Yeah.
you all are sent here on a mission with me, it seems.
Yep.
So I'm just going with it now.
Yeah.
That's all I can say. It's just I'm very humbled and I'm very excited about this. But yeah, we're gonna do some amazing things. I want us to all travel together. Like, just imagine. I was just telling a few people this week that, can you imagine once we get good at this and we come back and we can report what we've seen and all the knowledge we've gained? Imagine how that could change our whole world. I mean, sure,
Yeah, if we
there's gonna
set
be there's
some type of intentions to create
yeah, yes,
something beneficial,
right.
know.
Yeah, and this
Yeah.
whole thing I thought of about the putting all of us putting earbuds in at the same time all around the world and tuning into the same frequency. I think that'll do something too. I really do.
Yeah, that would be awesome.
I've never heard anybody doing that before, and I'm really eager to try that. But we have to get good at this first. This astral projection, I
Right.
think, and
Right.
that's also no coincidence either. Most of you that came here, that's one of the top things you wanted to know about was astral projection. That's the whole reason I'm even talking about it now. That wasn't even part of the plan at
Yeah,
first.
it was just kind of a small part of what you were talking about at the time, but that's the thing that
But
really caught my
now, yeah,
attention.
that took front stage right away, and then I realized, okay, why is everybody wanting to know about that all of a sudden? And now it all makes sense. It all makes sense now. We were all meant to travel the universe together. And that's what I should be focusing more on in that. So yeah,
Yeah.
it's really awesome. But yeah, so in our Facebook group, that's where we talk about all this every day.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've joined any of our chat rooms so
Yeah,
far, but
I've looked at some of them, but I haven't really talked about anything. But
yeah, we talk about
I'll
all
be
a
there.
lot. Yeah. So whenever you're trying or you're having problems with your attempts or whatever, just come in and tell us about it. We'll help each other with tips and
Okay.
tricks and things.
I won't be scared next time I have to through the emojis.
Yeah, so you already know we don't die. So
Yeah, don't be afraid. Whatever
once-
shows up, don't be
yeah.
scared to jump through it.
Exactly. Just go with it, and just have love in your heart. Just think about your grandchildren or something that makes you feel so happy inside, or just think about our new family here. That's what I do. I don't even have to worry about putting love in my heart now. It's already there, 24/7, and that's half the battle. Having love in your heart and getting rid of fear. If you can do those two things consistently, you can astral project when you want to. You just got to have the intention and the other mechanics, like saying something over and over in your mind. You got to always do that, and then clearing your mind. That's probably one of the next hardest things to do. And just relaxing your body and not get too excited like I used to when I used to try this. I used to get so excited. I'm like, oh, I'm almost there. But then I move something and then
Right.
you can't move. Or a cat would jump on me. Or I would get so hot. See, I had to learn that my body heats up when I project. So then I incorporated a ceiling fan or another fan blowing on me. Sometimes I had to have both because I realized that when I got hot, these little beads of sweat would form on my forehead, and they would just kind of drip down, and you can't move to wipe it off. It's kind of like when a fly's on you, or a mosquito's buzzing in your ear. It's the same
Yeah.
principle. So you got to have distraction-free environment when you do this too.
Yeah.
And you'll make all these little tweaks to your routines and get it right. That's what takes time. It's just all these little tweaks. But you will have an experience, and I'm waiting for the first one of you to have your first experience. I'm really
Me
excited
too.
about that.
I'm excited about it too. If
'Cause
it's me, I'll let you know.
I know. I'm waiting. I'm waiting for that first one, and in the meantime, I'm trying to beat all you. I want to have the first one. So it's kind of like it's a nice, fun little game here. But yeah, I'm so excited. But yeah, so if you wanted to do it with me, try about like I'm probably my best times that I'm because I'm going to be doing like the sleep wake routine. So probably early in the morning my time, West Coast, like 6-7 in the morning is when I'll probably be at my best peak to do it. So, but for the Far East, that would be about 3 a.m. the next day.
Yeah.
So, and then Europe probably about midday their time. So I don't know. We'll have to figure out when the best time for all of it. If we want in the future, when we all want to do it at the same time, we'll have to figure out a
set a time. Yeah.
Set a time. Like when everybody gets good at it and we can do it at will, we'll cross that bridge when we get to it, I guess. But yeah, it's gonna be fun. I'm really looking forward to it. And thanks for coming on here and sharing your experience.
Yes, thanks for having me. And I just feel, I guess I feel good. I feel lighter. I feel.
Yeah, that's awesome.
I feel jazzed up. I feel like I have some good energy from talking to you.
I know,
Awesome.
that's awesome. And that's what it's
tonight.
all about. That's what it's all about. So, guys, I'm going to end this stream now. I love you all. Thanks for coming in tonight. And I hope you all have a great day wherever you are today. And just remember that love is all that matters in this life. Nothing else does, really, when it boils right down to it. Oh, and be grateful. That's a new thing I'm working on, is to be grateful. Be grateful for everything you have, and be grateful that, we all came together and we met each other again. We found each other, and there's so much to be grateful for. And as long as we have those two things in our heart, we're vibrating high. Hello, Malin. But anyway, love you all. Have a great night, and I'll catch you on the next time, or I'll see you in our group. So again, if those of you just joining, if you haven't joined our Facebook group, I think there's a link in our community tab. You can join there, or just friend me on Facebook, or find me on Facebook at Memarkhodges, or Tampa's Mark is my name on Facebook, because I'm from Tampa, but I don't live there right now. But just find me there, and you can find all the links to everything. But our Facebook group is called Game of Scrolls, so you can just search for that group, and you'll find us. So anyway, good night, everybody. Love you.
Good night.
Night.
Good night.